What is going on, guys? Evan here from Evan Sports Corner, back with another live stream here on the channel. Today, we got the Ole Miss Rebels and the Georgia Bulldogs here in the Sugar Bowl, the big quarterfinal matchup between both SEC teams. Rematch of a great regular season matchup. Third down and 10 for Trinidad Chambliss. Dog show blitz. Chambliss and them have gotten to the 38. Chambliss drops back on third down, looking down the field. Incomplete, right into the dirt. Goes Trinidad Chambliss, and the Rebels will be forced to punt the football. This is going to be a really interesting game today. Because Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss, obviously the controversy with Lane Kiffin is the big thing there. Dogs to return it. Branch is one of the most electric players in the country. He crosses the 25, and there we go. Ole Miss punts on their opening drive, and here comes this high-powered Georgia offense. Gunnar Stockton, the starting quarterback. He's been tremendous in his first year as Georgia's starter. And there's definitely some meat on the bone that Gunnar felt was lost last season in this stadium. In the Sugar Bowl a year ago, it was Stockton who was the starting quarterback for the Dogs in that loss to Notre Dame. And now a year later, he gets a chance to right that wrong. Here we go. Gunnar Stockton versus Ole Miss. They did retain Pete Golding. He's their new head coach. It's his defense versus Mike Bobo's offense. The Dogs are going to try to be the most physical team today and advance to play Carson Beck in the semifinals. Stockton fakes the run, pass out to the flat. It's caught, first down. Oscar Delp, strong start for the Georgia Bulldogs. Again, Georgia is they're not a newcomer to the playoffs whatsoever. I mean, every single year they're usually in games like this. They're so used to being in these big-time games, and Gunnar Stockton's elite. He's been amazing this season. Wide open Oscar Delp right there. Again, this Ole Miss team has rode their offense throughout the season. Their defense has been a bit of a weak point. It's the main reason why they lost to Georgia back in the regular season. Ole Miss's only loss is to Georgia. Both these teams come into today at 12-1. Gunnar Stockton from the 43-yard line. He's going to throw the screen out to Nate Frazier, one of the most explosive running backs in college football. And he gets a solid gain there for the Dogs. Kirby's defense is going to be interesting against Chambliss and Ole Miss today for sure. But Golding is the head coach now. And we'll see how his defense does, because this is his unit. Dogs are up to midfield, second down and 3 from the 50. And it's a three-man rush. Gunnar Stockton going to step up and run. That's something he does well, and he dives across the 45-yard line. First down, Gunnar Stockton. First down, Georgia. There you go, Gunnar. First down and 10 for the Dogs. Gunnar Stockton doing a really nice job right now, commanding this offense. He's done a great job all season. These teams played a shootout game back earlier in October. Georgia scored on every single possession in that game. Their offense was a well-oiled machine. They won that game 43-35. Has Ole Miss's defense made any adjustments here in the playoffs? Stockton calling something out the line of scrimmage. We'll see what he's got. First and 10, 11 minutes to go. Branch in motion. He's so dangerous with that speed. Stockton fakes the handoff, going deep down the field. Stockton unloading for Branch, out of bounds, incomplete. Dangerous receiver every time he's out there. Zachariah Branch, one of the fastest wide receivers in college football, and a guy who's really upped his stock going into this season for sure. I mean, he had an amazing freshman year at USC, took the college football world by storm. Then after that, a disappointing sophomore campaign, transfers over to Georgia. He's had a great season. Georgia also gets Colby Young, who suffered a broken leg earlier in the regular season. He's back. Stockton, screen pass, Branch. He's super dangerous on those as well, but he's going to be taken down at the line of scrimmage. So Zachariah Branch, that was really dangerous right there. Georgia loves to run those screens to him. The tunnel screens are a big part of their offense. That time, though, Ole Miss was prepared for it. They get out there, third down and 10. Again, Georgia likes to play really physical, running the football, smash mouth type of game. But haven't really seen them run the ball early on in this game. It's been a lot of passing to get Gunnar Stockton comfortable. 3rd down and 10 from the Ole Miss 44-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the left, 3-man rush. Stockton has a lot of time. He's going to scramble to the right side. Has to play make. Going deep and incomplete. No flag. Cash Jones, the intended target. He wanted a flag. He didn't get it. 4th and 10. And Ole Miss's defense already doing better than October 18th. Well, again, I said it. They did not get a single stop in that game. Not a single drive where they didn't allow points. Embarrassing. They sucked that day. I remember watching that game. It was really it was a crazy game. Trinidad played really well. The big question today is how will Ole Miss do against Georgia now that they don't have Lane Kiffin? Kiffin versus Kirby Smart. Those battles are always fantastic. Here's Brett Thorson with a tremendous punt for the Dogs. They're going to be downed. Ole Miss is going to be down way deep, probably the 1 or 2 yard line. London Humphreys went down and Fair caught that one. And just again, Georgia executing well in all phases of the game. It looks like Humphreys caught this one at the 2 yard line. So great start for both defenses getting off the field, but Georgia's special teams puts Ole Miss in a really tough spot going into this next drive. Obviously, a lot of people are going to pick Georgia to win this one. I mean, first of all, Georgia's looked like the best team in college football for especially the second half of the season. A dominant SEC championship win over Alabama. They've been elite. Georgia has been phenomenal this year. Another great season for Kirby Smart and the Dogs doing what they do. As for Ole Miss, I mean, Lane Kiffin, right? Lane Kiffin's play calls in that game were a big reason why they were in that game. What's up, Aaron? Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. Go Canes. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Go Canes indeed. I was like, wow, that was a crazy game. If y'all are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. It really helps out the YouTube channel. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun game today. I really don't know what's going to happen. But, yeah, Happy New Year's to everybody. Of course, I hope you guys all have a great 2026. I hope it's the best year of your lives. Very prosperous. All glory to God giving us another year around the sun, baby. Anyways, yeah, love it. Back to this game, though. Trinidad Chambliss in this offense. How are they going to operate without Lane Kiffin? Look, we saw them against Tulane, but that's Tulane. That's a team that's way inferior to Ole Miss, to Tulane, respectfully. That game was never competitive. It was never going to be competitive. Tulane would have had to play the freaking game of their life. John Sumrall was already off to Florida. They stood no chance. Now, you look at this game, you're not just playing a team that's up to your level. Georgia's above Ole Miss's level in terms of talent, if we're being for real. Georgia, there aren't many teams in the country who recruit and have the same talent level as Georgia. Ole Miss has a lot of talent. They're a very good team. Kawan Lacey, Trinidad Chambliss, Harrison Wallace. It's a very good team. They're a very good team. They have a lot of talent on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. But against Georgia, Georgia's got the talent and they got the physicality and coaching discipline. Kirby Smart always has them ready to play. Again, the game against Notre Dame last year was a very rare loss. Kirby, I think, 5-2 in the playoffs or something like that, is a great record. Multiple national championships under the guy's belt. He's the best coach in the game. And Ole Miss doesn't have Kiffin to dial up some big plays. Kiffin was dialing some stuff up in Athens. I'm not gonna lie. He was really dialing some stuff up. They were getting really creative. They were in their bag completely in that game. And they weren't able to pull out the win, though. Because Georgia got it done. You know what I mean? So here we go. Some big NFL games coming up in the next couple games to decide those divisions. But anyways, if y'all are listening, click the subscribe button. Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss have the football. 1st and 10, 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. Chambliss is in shotgun from the 2. Georgia has a lot of guys in the box because Ole Miss will try to run out of their own end zone. We'll see, though. Play clock is down to 8. Chambliss is calling things out. A lot of communication on both sides. First down and 10. Chambliss gets the snap. Handoff up the middle. Lacey trying to make a cut. Kawan Lacey barreling to the 10-yard line. An 8-yard run for Big Lacy. There's obviously been a lot of rumors about whether he would transfer if Ole Miss loses this game. Will Kawan Lacy transfer immediately? I don't know, but today he's in an Ole Miss uniform. And obviously I'm going to talk about Kiffin at some point, but yeah, I got to talk about these guys like Kawan Lacy who are great players, and he's a very, very talented young man. 2nd down and 1, and Lacy gets it back, gets outside. Kawan Lacy getting on the high horse, stiff-arming Bolden out of bounds. Takes a shot there on that sideline. Got to get him off that sideline, but Kawan Lacy, we know he's one of the best running backs in college football, and it looked like Georgia had him stuffed, but Lacy bounced it to the outside, made a big play. And that is a great start to this game for Ole Miss's offense to get Kawan Lacy going. Again, he's one of the best running backs in the SEC. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Lacy 4 carries, 30 yards, making Chambliss' life easier. Wallace in motion. Chambliss dropping back, looking, screen out to Wallace. 2 dogs are out there, and Wallace will have to lunge forward for about a gain of 2 or 3. So they set that play up pretty nicely, but it was a 2-on-1 out there, and Wallace did his best. Didn't have much of a shot, though, if we're being for real. 2nd down coming up under 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. Chambliss in the offense been moving. Well, it's really been just Lacy, if we're being for real. 9 plays to 6. Cool. Lacy's on the sideline getting a breather. And here we go from the 29-yard line. Trinidad Chambliss drops back. Has time. Pressure comes. He gets rid of it out to the other running back. And that's Diggs, who's going to fight forward and pick up the 1st down. So there's Diggs fighting for every yard, and Ole Miss picking up more yardage, getting a big 1st down. The final spot in the Final Four up for grabs today between these 2 SEC schools, and Diggs and Lacy, the 2 running backs, making it happen early on in this game. Georgia having a tough time bringing those 2 down. 1st and 10, Ole Miss. We'll see what Kirby's got for them. Chambliss left side pass complete. Wallace staying up and getting a couple extra yards there. Solid gain of about 6 or 7 for Harrison Wallace. So Kirby Smart again. Got to get these defensive guys ready. Chambliss hit the quick hitter there. Glenn Schumann, the Georgia defensive coordinator, him and Kirby work to make sure Georgia's defense always in the right position. Chambliss, he's mobile. He's going to take a QB run, and he gets the 1st down, I believe. See where the officials spot him, but I believe Trinidad Chambliss just picked up a 1st down, that designed QB run to the left. So Ole Miss, solid crowd out there in the Sugar Bowl today. Again, this is in New Orleans, where the Saints play. So in the Superdome. So both teams have a lot of. I bet the crowd's pretty split, pretty evenly. You know, both teams are from the South, SEC. Pretty good crowd for both teams. 1st and 10, 5 wide. Chambliss sprints out to the right. Trinidad looking down the field. He's got a man. Harrison Wallace again to the Georgia 40-yard line. And Trinidad Chambliss is looking good early on. Had a couple rough throws in that first drive, but right here, he just immediately sprints out to this right side. And Harrison Wallace open, just sits down in the middle of the defense right there. And an easy pitch and catch for Chambliss. 1st and 10 from the 39. Split backfield look for Ole Miss. Chambliss fakes the handoff. He's looking, and he's going to take it down. Incomplete, though. Batted down off the edge by the Dogs. He was trying to hit his tight end underneath. Nice play by the Dogs. Defensive end right there. Is it Jackson, 33? That was a nice play. So a very strong start to this game for Ole Miss, though. Offensively, they're moving the football well down the field. Charlie Weis, the offensive coordinator, who I believe is going to join Kiffin at LSU soon enough. But he's here today. 2nd and 10. Handoff Lacy, and he's dragged down from behind by Dalen Everett. One of the better cornerbacks in the SEC. Dalen has had some unfortunate moments. He's against Texas. He's had some really good plays against us, unfortunately. So I know how good of a player he is. He's really physical. Made a nice stop there in the run game. 3rd down and 9 from the 38. We'll see how aggressive Ole Miss plays this today. You know how aggressive Kiffin is. We'll see what the philosophy is today with Golding. 3rd and 9. Man in motion. It's Stribling. And it's Chambliss dropping back. Throwing outside. Incomplete. And there's Everett. Just talked about how good he is. And then he makes another big play. He read the out route perfectly. And Ole Miss's drive stalls out in Georgia territory. Everett again. Great coverage. Ooh. He got there a little bit early. The officials did not call anything, though. Again, the referees thought about throwing the flag. Maybe they did not, though. Maybe they thought about it. But here we go. Lucas Carnero. His career long is 54 yards, and he's attempting a 55-yard field goal here. This is a long kick. It's indoors in the Superdome. Kick on the way, and it is. It looks good. It has the distance. Oh, my goodness, he drilled it. What a kick from him. He looked like he could have he could have hit that from like 3 or 4 or 5 more yards out. My gosh, he drilled it. Oh, great. This is what I hate about watching Ole Miss games. I have to see all the stupid sorority chicks. Dumbass. Anyways, that kick was an absolute beauty, and Ole Miss takes the lead on Georgia. So a productive opening drive for them. I think they're probably frustrated that it stalled out when it did. But either way, you know, hey, they got it done. They got points out of that drive. They're going to have to continue to execute as the game goes along. I think Georgia's offense is pretty much inevitable to start exploding. But yeah, definitely... Daylen Everett made his mark and made his impact on that drive. So there you go. That's definitely big time. Big time plays from him. I mean, he stuffed the run. That's what Kirby does, man. That's what Kirby does. You got your corners out here making tackles in the run game, and then cerebral reading that play on the outside. So obviously just finished up the Rose Bowl stream about an hour and a half ago or so, something like that. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half ago. Oh man, Indiana looks like an absolute wagon. I gotta tell y'all, man, Indiana looks like a freaking wagon right now. Those boys are nasty. Those boys are tough. I mean, Curt Cignetti, best coach in the sport. Him and Kirby Smart. It's really those two. And IU just looks incredible. Truly. Truly, like they are just absolutely a remarkable program right now. Again, what Cignetti has done with those guys has been nothing short of phenomenal through these first couple years. He's got them in the freaking Final Four. That's ridiculous and impressive. It'll be them versus Oregon, again, a rematch to go to the national championship this time. But yeah, Indiana went from one of the worst historically one of the worst programs in our lovely sport of college football to now being one game away from playing in the national championship. I mean, it's truly unreal, but that's what makes this sport so special. It really is. If y'all are listening, be sure to like up the stream, click the subscribe button. Again, it really helps out the channel. And here we go. It'll be Georgia getting the football back. They had a productive opening drive, but kind of like Ole Miss's second drive, they stalled out around midfield. Ole Miss's kicker with the bazooka leg knocked it through. But Georgia, they were a little farther out. So here we go at the Superdome again. Georgia, no stranger to these games. I mean, all these guys for the Dogs have played in these types of playoff games, except the freshmen. Most of those guys were on the team last year and played in the Superdome, in the Sugar Bowl. Meanwhile, for Ole Miss, look, they got a little bit of taste of playoff action against Tulane, but other than that, Ole Miss, I mean, I think this is their first time making the playoffs, and so they've dealt with a lot. But a strong drive from them. Again, the real way you can beat Georgia is the way Notre Dame beat them last year. Strong defense. You got to be able to limit the big plays, play strong defense, and you have to run the football well. That's why Notre Dame beat them. Notre Dame ran the football well. If I remember, Riley Leonard had a great day on the ground. He made the timely throws, and they just didn't allow the Dogs to. You can't allow Georgia to out physical you. That's why Texas always loses to Georgia, because we usually get out physical significantly. There's Gunnar Stockton. First career start was in the Sugar Bowl last year. I already discussed it. He lost that game, but in his career at Georgia, 12-2, and he's won 9 straight games right now, riding a 9-game streak, including an SEC championship win over Bama, who was eliminated today in pretty embarrassing fashion. 1st and 10 for Georgia at the 25. Frazier in the backfield, I believe, and they're going to go screen pass Branch. They're out on it, though. Branch trying to get the edge, and he's taken out of bounds by Ole Miss. So they're trying to get those Zachariah Branch screens, get their star receiver the ball any way they can. Because, again, that dude definitely has like low 4.3, high 4.2, maybe mid 4.2 speed. Get that dude the football, right? Hasn't worked out yet. But, yeah, I mean, you got to get him the ball. You got to give him the ball any way possible. So it is now going to be 2nd down and 8 under 5.5 to play. Mike Bobo, Georgia's offensive coordinator, one of the better OCs in the game. Got to call up some good plays. The plays that worked against Ole Miss a few months ago. 2nd down and 8. Stockton handoff up the middle and a strong push from the Georgia line. Frazier gets some solid yards there. Makes it a 3rd and short. Again, you cannot get blown off the ball against Georgia. You have to be physical up front because that is what they will do. They'll run the football all over you. Make it 3rd manageable. And Gunner's a good quarterback. Gunner will do what Gunner needs to do. He'll go out there. He'll sling it if he needs to. There's the big There's the big injury for Georgia, though. Drew Bobo, one of the best centers in America, out. He's been out a lot of this season, and he's out today with a foot injury, it looks like. 3rd and 2. Ole Miss sends blitz. Stockton understands it, and it's batted down at the line. It looked like Stockton had already made his read, and he was going to make a confident throw down the middle, but it was batted down at the line of scrimmage. So Ole Miss shows blitz in this play, and Stockton immediately knows it's coming, but a great bat down right there by Ole Miss. They sent a bunch of pressure, and that's just a great deflection because I think that was definitely going to be a 1st down for Georgia. So Ole Miss forces a 2nd punt. Again, in the first game between these two teams, no punts from Georgia. 2 in the 1st quarter. And again, watch out for Kirby's trickeration because Kirby loves to fake punts and do a bunch of weird stuff. So you always have to watch out for that. Here's the punt. It's a good one down near the 20, and that is where it'll be caught by Harrison Wallace. And Ole Miss, 2nd defensive stop of the game. So there you go. Again, Georgia's definitely more of a second-half team. So if you're Ole Miss, I mean, they know this definitely. You got to get ahead on them early and make it count because, you know, Kirby at that halftime is going to make the adjustments of doom. But yeah, I mean, it's just their defense looks better. They're more active. They're flying to the ball. And that was a really, really good deflection right there on 3rd down. That was fantastic. Because, again, you cannot get pushed. You cannot get pushed out on those run plays. Anyways, but yeah, this is just huge. If y'all are listening, by the way, be sure to click the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. And yeah, it is the start of the game. It's been an interesting one. Georgia and Ole Miss. A couple punts from the Dogs early on. I thought they would definitely get off to a faster start against this defense from Ole Miss. But Golding's got them boys ready to play. I've been impressed. I've been really impressed. I'm like, wow, okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so good start, though, for Ole Miss. Again, a lot of people question how is this team going to play without Kiffin, right? Is this team good enough without Kiffin? I personally think Georgia's going to win this game. I've always thought I think Georgia's been an elite team all year long. Georgia's been incredible. Honestly, they kicked the crap out of my boys. But that's not even it. Like, it's not even just that. Like, I've just watched a lot of Georgia football this year, and, I mean, they're a very elite team. Like, they're physical. Gunner's had a really, really good season. He's really taken that leap, right? Gunner's taken that leap that he was supposed to make, and he's looked really good. Zachariah Branch is super explosive, and Georgia's just the thing about Georgia that's been scary this year is that Georgia, which it seems like they do most years under Smart, they get a lot better as the season goes on. Look, I did not think Georgia was all that early on in the season, especially that game when they almost lost to Tennessee. I was like, okay, I don't think Georgia's going to be that great this year. I think Gunner's good, but their defense looked terrible. Their secondary was really suspect. I was like, I don't know about Georgia this year. But man, they've really figured it out as the season's gone on. Kirby's gotten all the cogs and the everything going, and the early loss to Alabama versus the way that they played against them in the SEC championship game, it shows. It shows the progression that Georgia made the entire season. Ole Miss is one of those teams that they beat as they were ascending up. They beat Ole Miss and just, kept on rolling from there. And we'll see how much better Ole Miss has gotten because their schedule down the stretch wasn't as difficult. They beat some pretty easy comp in a lot of those games. A couple of decent wins if I remember, but it is what it is. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Chambliss with the football. Lacey in the backfield. And Chambliss, play action. Quick fire! Oh my goodness, nearly intercepted. My goodness, Dejon Stribling caught that ball, but it looked like for a second it was going to be intercepted. I want to see a replay and see if this went right through someone's hands because I genuinely thought that was going to get picked off, and I think the Georgia sideline thought so too. 2nd down and 5, though, nearly avoids disaster. So, wow. Chambliss playing with fire. Here's the handoff. It's Lacey, left side. Kawan Lacey. 1st down across the 30 to the 34-yard line. And Lacey, again, getting the football. Nice misdirection there from the Ole Miss offense. And Lacey with 6 carries for 41 yards. What a start for this dude. He is running free. 1st and 10. 3:30 to play in the first quarter. Maybe I should put a clock up on the streams. I've been thinking about that. Here's Chambliss dropping back, going downfield, and high pointing the football. What a catch by Harrison Wallace. He has been making a lot of plays early on in this game for Ole Miss. High points this football. Harrison Wallace has really he's been getting a ton of targets early on this game. Chambliss was pressured, had to kind of float that one up there. And again, Wallace, big frame. Big reception. 44 yards in the first quarter. Now Chambliss goes back to the ground game. Lacey, and he fights for a good amount of yardage. So this is what I like to see, for Ole Miss, right? This is what you want to see. Is they're running the football well. You have to run the football well against Georgia, or else Kirby will start sending some crazy blitzes at you because he doesn't respect your run game. He'll start sending some crazy blitzes at you, and they'll just start bullying you up front. And it just, they don't respect the run game, then you're cooked, right? 2nd down and 5 from the 39. Chambliss high snap, handles it well, going deep down the field. Trinidad Chambliss incomplete. Oh man, he went for a deep ball shot there to Alexander, and great coverage from Ellis Robinson on that far side of the field. The former 5-star corner, one-on-one coverage. Little hand fighting here. Ellis gets a little grab of that jersey, but Chambliss was asking Alexander to make an Odell Beckham catch with that throw. Led him too far. 3rd and 5 now. See where they're at on the field. Looks like they're in a similar spot to where they were earlier on that field goal. 3rd and 5. Georgia doing their D-line stunts before the play. That weird D-line stunt stuff. 3rd and 5, and we got a timeout coming. I think Ole Miss is going to burn one here to get everything sorted out. So, yeah, Kirby loves it. Those D linemen do that weird stunt thing, and it gets a little confusing. Offensive line gets confused. Everybody's all out of sorts for a second. So here we go. Strong start to this game for Ole Miss. They're on a good drive right now. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Kawan Lacey and the O-line are doing well, and it's forcing them to respect that. So Harrison Wallace, great start to this football game for big Harrison Wallace. He's got 4 receptions for 44 yards. Really, really good start to the game for him. He just keeps on cooking. He really does. He just keeps on cooking right now. Wallace was the transfer wide receiver from Penn State. 6'1", 195. He's not that tall, but he's a good receiver though. He high pointed the football really well there, and it's again they're gonna have to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive against Kirby. You can't play conservative. You got to go for those shots whenever you're able to get the stops. Trinidad Chambliss being active right now. Yeah, Raylan Wilson came flying in there, and Chambliss was able to deliver that ball, give his receiver a chance to make a play, and Harrison Wallace did the job. So 3-0 Ole Miss, 2:21 to go. Who? No. I don't know why I did that. There we go. I like that. I don't know why I was like messing with it. I was trying to figure out if I should put like a timer to put. Maybe later. Maybe I'll do it after halftime. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. If y'all are listening, though, be sure to click the sub button. Helps out the channel a lot. Here we go. So 3rd down and 5. They burned a timeout to try to get this play set up the way they want to. Huge play. They're going empty with Chambliss here. Chambliss, here we go. Georgia sends pressure. Chambliss, quick fire. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. The Georgia Bulldogs, active hands up front. Johnson, I think, was the one who got his hands on that one. And Ole Miss is probably going to have to settle for another field goal early on. Again, kind of the same story with these last couple drives. They get down the field. They move it well. You get to this part of the field, and then Georgia starts to lock in. And, yeah, Johnson got his hand on that one. And Georgia stalls out. So another long field goal coming up for Ole Miss's kicker, who just drilled the last one. Lucas Carnero had tied the school record this year, making 25 field goals. And this would be for the record, I believe. 56, though. This one's even further back. Here we go. 56 yards. Kick on the way. It is up, and it is. Oh, my gosh, he drilled it again. Lucas Carnero, bang, bang, from 56 yards. He's already hit 2 long ones, and Ole Miss, 6-0 lead in this game. That's ridiculous, dude. After some of the kicking, I know that, like, all college football fans who are watching this game, specifically Ohio State fans, Miami fans, Texas A&M fans, teams that have been affected in the playoffs because of their crappy kickers, are watching this game right now, and they are like, what the heck, man? Like, this dude is a beast. He just drilled 2 from like 50 plus like it was nothing, bro. Those kicks were beautiful. Kid deserves to get drafted for real. Oh my gosh, this dude's a beast. Anyways, Ole Miss off to a fantastic start in this game. Defensively, they've held Georgia to 0 points through this quarter, 114 yards to 37. But it's Kirby Smart, it's Georgia. They usually always find a way to win, and they're definitely they're right there in this game anyway. So we'll see what ends up happening. Okay, I don't know. There we go. I don't know why that was there. All right, so here we go. Pete Golding. They've already, like I said earlier, they've already forced 2 punts today. I don't know why that was there. All right, so here we go. Moochie is him. What's up, bro? If you are listening, be sure to click that subscribe button, man. Again, it really, really helps out the YouTube channel. Really helps me out. So if you would consider subscribing, please do. Here we go. 1st and 10. Georgia getting the football for the 3rd time today. They've punted the first 2 drives today, and now we'll see if they can get their offense going. One of the better offenses in America. Pete Golding and his defense trying to make it happen. 1st and 10. Stockton. Hand off Frazier. Left side. There's the explosive Nate Frazier across the 35. And he's got a 1st down for Georgia. Again, when Georgia starts to lean on that ground game and it starts to work, things get a little bit scary. And obviously we know how good Georgia can be. Nate Frazier, he's so electric, so fast. I mean, he's scary. Frazier, that's only his 2nd carry of the day, 19 yards. That was a big run for him there. And Kirby and the Dogs with a first down. 1:40 to go in the first quarter. Gunnar Stockton at the 38. Stockton. Hey, we'll go back to the ground game. It's Frazier up the middle again. Dogs starting to push up that middle. And this is where they start to get really scary. Big Dogs up the middle. So Frazier has had a bit of an up and down sophomore campaign for the Dogs after he really burst onto the scene his freshman year. But he's still so athletic and electric out of the backfield. Again, Georgia runs a lot of different backs. Chauncey Bowens, big, powerful back. I think they got McCray, who's also very similar, big bruiser kind of guy. Here's a play action fake. Stockton rolling to his right. He's going down the field. Oh my goodness, did that get completed? Yes, it did. I think that's Colby Young. What a reception. Just a ridiculous find from Gunnar Stockton and an even better grab from Colby Young. Stockton on the run. This is a tough window to fit this football into. And Young with a terrific catch. And yep, that is 100% a catch. He brought this football into his body. And he makes the grab. Georgia's offense on the move. What a throw from Stockton. What a catch from Young. So here we go. They're at the Ole Miss 43-yard line. Handoff, Bowens left side, and he's going to get across the line, the field goal target line that they have set at about the 38 or 37-yard line. And that'll end the first quarter. From the Sugar Bowl, it's Ole Miss 6, Georgia 0 heading into the second. So Georgia having their most promising game right now. So the All-State Sugar Bowl, I have mixed feelings about this bowl game personally. Texas lost this bowl game in heartbreaking fashion to Washington a couple years ago. This might be the 2-year anniversary actually, or I was probably sitting in this chair, in this room. Texas was playing Washington, and I was just chilling here. Sad because we didn't win, but it is what it is. That is sports. Did I never change the possession arrow? Oh, there we go. My bad, y'all. I need to be better about that. Sometimes I just blank and forget to do it, and it's super dumb. My bad. Did I never change the possession arrow? Oh, there we go. My bad, y'all. Thoughts on overall playoff games? Well, you see, overall playoff games. It's been a lot of crap, if we're being honest. The games have sucked. Most of them have. Yeah, it's been bad. They need to change the format in some form or fashion. Look, I hope that we finally realize that G5 teams do not belong in the playoffs. I am, bro. I'm still a Texas fan to this day. Always rooting for my Horns till I die. Horns up. Yeah, always big Texas guy right here. No, man, the games have not been good. Look, I hope we learned our lesson about the G5. Both of those games were just stupid and uncompetitive. It was more, people were more watching those games to see if Oregon and Ole Miss would cover the spread. I think G5 teams should get an opportunity to compete for a playoff spot, but I don't know if they should be an automatic bid. Look, the ACC just kind of messed it up. The ACC messed it up this year with their stupid crap and how they were so bad and all that. Oh, whoever just subbed, thank you for subbing. Appreciate that. That's my opinion on that for sure. But other than that, I mean, look, Alabama, we knew going into the playoffs, Alabama was a hit or miss team. The committee's made it very clear that they're not going to punish the SEC champion no matter how bad they get blown out. And Alabama, they beat Oklahoma because Oklahoma sucked. I mean, if anybody who watched Oklahoma play this year knows Oklahoma was not that good of a team. That's the only reason why Alabama won a playoff game is because Oklahoma was not that good. That's not even me being a Texas fan hater. They just weren't good. Their defense wasn't very good. Their defense was great. Their offense was terrible, putrid. So that made this game uncompetitive because Indiana is a legitimately elite team this year. And then Oregon Tech was supposed to be a good game. That was just kind of unfortunate. Tech's offense just had nothing today. Oregon looked pretty good. That was supposed to be a good game. The reality about college football is on a given year, you maybe have 4 teams who can win a championship. In a rare special year, like I'd say the year that Texas made it, the 4 team, the last year the 4 team playoff, I think there were 6 teams who could have won the Natty. Florida State pre-Travis injury for sure. That was a year where that was the case. As here's Frazier going straight up the middle across the 30, and there's Nate Frazier with a first down. Georgia's offensive line plowing this drive. Um, that's just kind of how it is. Like a lot of most years in college football, you have your elite teams, and then a bunch of teams who are on that bubble. Teams get hot at the end of the year sometimes, and that's kind of what the purpose of the 12-team playoff was for, was to give those types of teams opportunities. Like Miami. Miami lost 2 games in the middle of the season. If this was 2 years ago, Miami would have been out. This year they're in the Final Four because they're playing their best ball right now. 1st and 10, handoff up the middle. Frazier just going to keep on going. Another first down for Georgia. I mean, it's just easy work for the Dogs right now. They are facing zero resistance. Nate Frazier is running through holes easily. First down. Another one. And I think Georgia is I don't think Stockton's going to have to do anything else this drive. Great block right there in the middle. My gosh, they're so physical. Yeah, the games have been bad, and like it's unfortunate. I mean, what was the other first? OU Alabama was entertaining. A&M Miami, it was a crap game, but at least it was close. 1st and 10, Branch in motion, and Stockton fake. He's gonna keep it himself. Stockton to the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia. What a play call, and Gunnar Stockton takes it himself. That was a great play call. I thought that they had it bagged up there when Stockton was going to throw the little RPO. He just takes it himself up the middle, and we know how physical Gunnar Stockton is. Perfectly executed drive from Georgia. 7 plays, 75 yards in 3.5 minutes, and they're about to take the lead with this PAT. And Stockton going to be a dog and come in and hold the PAT as well. Yeah, and that was Gunnar Stockton's Georgia's leading rushing touchdown guy this year. That's his 9th of the year. Woodring with the PAT to give Georgia the lead, and it is good. Georgia up 7-6 in this one. So, a couple punts to start the game, but then Georgia realized that they could physically destroy Ole Miss up the middle, and that's what they did. Dominant drive from Georgia, capped off by a Gunnar Stockton touchdown. Really did a nice job selling the fake there, and then he just followed his blockers, dove into the end zone. Dogs take the lead. Good stuff. Good stuff, Georgia. I mean, I'm rooting for Ole Miss. I don't like Georgia, but at the end of the day, Georgia's elite like that. You know what I mean? They're a very good team. So I expected this to be a more competitive game than the Alabama-Indiana one. I think Ole Miss is they're gonna hang on. They're gonna make it competitive early and all that, but then eventually they're gonna tail off at the end, and Georgia's gonna just physically impose their will. And well, that's pretty much what's happened, right? I mean, Georgia's just imposed their will on Ole Miss. I mean, that's what they've done, right? Oh, I never changed that. Okay, it's second quarter now. Georgia, that drive. I mean, let's just go through the drive here. What did Georgia do this drive? They started at the 25, 13-yard run to Frazier, 6-yard run to Frazier, 13-yard pass to Colby Young. That was a great play. Colby Young made a great catch. That's pretty much all Stockton had to do that drive besides the rushing touchdown was that one throw. And then Bowen 6-yard run. Frazier 9-yard run. Frazier 16-yard run. Stockton 12-yard touchdown run. Like, it was just Georgia did what they do. They relied on their offensive line. Their big boys up front. They ran up the middle. Ole Miss has got to get tougher. So there you go. The next round of the playoffs could be absolute cinema if Georgia wins this game. A rematch against Carson Beck and the Hurricanes, who have just been pulling off upsets all playoff long. First, they went into Kyle Field and upset Texas A&M. And then got a dub against the Ohio State Buckeyes. No one gave them a chance. I don't think anybody thought Miami was going to compete in that game. But, well, they went in and they kicked their butt. Here we go. Georgia will kick this one off. Ole Miss is going to get the football back, and their offense has stalled out the last couple drives in Georgia territory. Their kickers knocked down some big-time field goals, but there you go. Georgia and Ole Miss, again, a rematch of a great SEC matchup earlier in the season. It was a close contest. Both these teams have showed lots of improvement throughout the season. But obviously Ole Miss, that improvement, could it be staggered or not staggered? Could it be stagnant because of Lane Kiffin? I don't know. They look pretty good today. That defense did not look very good on the last drive, though. But their offense has been moving it pretty solid. So Gunnar Stockton again. There's that touchdown. And it's a 1st down and 10 from the 25 for Ole Miss. Chambliss fake, left side pass caught. And out of bounds goes Ole Miss. That is, who caught that last pass? I don't even know. Who just caught that football? Kawan Lacey gets the handoff up the middle, and they're going to try to push him forward, but Lacey is stuffed by the Dogs. So Raylan Wilson, one of Georgia's star linebackers, again, they just talked about it on the broadcast. Big-time communicator, veteran linebacker presence, a very important part of their defense, taken to the locker room earlier in the game. Now he's on the exercise bike trying to get back in there. Meanwhile, on the field, 3rd and 1 from the 34. Chambliss handoff up the middle. Lacey trying to find a cutback lane, and he finds it. 1st down, Ole Miss. My goodness, it looked like Lacey was going to run into nothing. It looked like he ran into a wall, but Lacey found a way to cut back, and now the camera just cut to Kirby Smart crashing the hell out. Trying to get his guys on the field. Oh, Kirby, man. I do not like Kirby Smart, but he is a funny fella to watch on the sideline sometimes. 1st and 10 from the 36. Man in motion, the tight end. High snap. Chambliss launching one deep down the field. Oh, is it caught? It is. Trinidad Chambliss dime to Deshaun Stribling. What a throw from Trinidad. High snap. Nearly went over his head. Had to snag it with one hand, and then he just launches it one-on-one coverage right over the back shoulder. A beautiful back shoulder throw to Deshaun Stribling. Dalen Everett could not make the play there, and Trinidad Chambliss dropping a dime. The 5-year player, D2 stud, now at Ole Miss in the big time. Took over for Austin Simmons because he wasn't very good and he was injured. Simmons was. 1st and 10, Winston Watkins in motion. Chambliss fires a slant pass caught. Harrison Wallace stays on his feet. Flags are flying as Wallace was taken down by the face mask. And Ole Miss is going to get 15 on top of this. My goodness. Harrison Wallace stayed up after the face mask and then just spun around and eventually brought down, but about 3 flags flew out. This is a pretty easy call, I think, for the officials to make. If it's not, they're talking it over right now. If it's not a face mask, you would have like an 8-yard gain. We'll see, though. I think it was a face mask. And there it is, a face mask there. Harrison Wallace grabbed up top. Yanked it. Yeah, that'll do it. He yanked him pretty... Wow, that is ridiculous. He grabbed his face mask and, yanked it all the way where, his head was, falling low. It wasn't like it just, he didn't just turn his head. He yanked him to the ground with it like that. That is insane. 1st and goal, 11 and a half to play. Chambliss and Ole Miss set up into a great spot after the penalty. Lacey motioning back into the backfield. Or that's actually not Lacey. That's a big boy. That's a big fella right there. They're at the 8-yard line. Chambliss in shotgun. See if they go with a QB run. Chambliss is mobile. They're going to go to a QB run. Chambliss going left side. Trinidad Chambliss. Oh, he's taken down inside the 5 to the 3, I believe, is where Chambliss will be taken down. I was expecting that. They ran that in Athens as well. He had a touchdown run early in that game, I believe. Trinidad's pretty mobile. And, There's his mom and dad, I believe. They already showed Gunnar Stockton's parents. There's the Chamblises. It's been a hell of a road for Trinidad. Ferris State stud to being now, the the starting quarterback in the Sugar Bowl. Incredible story. Second and goal from the 3. Lacey back in the game. And they're going to go RPO off the hands of Harrison Wallace. Chambliss threw a fastball at him there. Out of bounds it goes. Third and goal. And for Ole Miss, again, you would just hate to stall out and kick 3 again. They've had a game, such a good start to this game offensively, but they just haven't been able to finish these drives. And again, Wallace just, he's grabbing those fingers because Chambliss threw an absolute rocket at him. But it is what it is. Incomplete, third and goal now. So Trinidad and this offense are going to have to get something going. Third and goal from the 3. Man in motion, it's Lacey. Chambliss sprints out right. Chambliss fires. End zone touchdown, Ole Miss! Trinidad Chambliss time to Luke Hasz, the transfer from Arkansas. And Ole Miss up 12-7. What a play by Chambliss. We got ourselves a ball game in the Sugar Bowl, folks. 8 plays, 75 yards. Trinidad Chambliss doing what he does. What a drive from him. Luke Hasz getting the big dog chain on, and we'll see if Ole Miss goes for 2. And they are going to go for 2. Hasz is not going to be in the game for the 2-point conversion. So here we go. They're going to go with they'll go chase the points. It's Chambliss. Gonna scramble, and he's swarmed. Georgia all over that one. Collapsed the pocket immediately, and Trinidad Chambliss is brought down. They go for the points. So Ole Miss, again, maybe not the best decision there to chase the points early in the game, but either way, 12-7 lead for the Rebels. Was anybody even going to be... Oh, yeah, they're showing this throw. Chambliss rolls out right. Beautiful throw on the run in a window right there to Luke Hasz for the touchdown. And again, that's just Trinidad Chambliss being Trinidad Chambliss. He is actually a really good college football quarterback. And he's had a tremendous season. I've been impressed every single time I've watched Trinidad. I watched a decent amount of Ole Miss this year. He did great against Oklahoma. I was like, wow, he's looked really good against Oklahoma. He did well against Georgia. Trinidad's legit, bro. He's a really, really good college football quarterback. I don't know. Does he translate to NFL? Probably not. But hey, in college, he can run around a little. He's got the mobility to play the position in college. He's got the arm talent. He can launch it downfield. He's confident. He throws a lot of confident footballs. I'm a big fan of him. Austin Simmons made me kind of mad. I remember going into the season, Ole Miss was all hyped up about Austin Simmons, which Austin Simmons looked really good against Georgia in the limited playing time last year when Jackson Dart got injured in that game. I don't know how Ole Miss just manages to find these crazy gunslingers, but they do. And Trinidad has been quite the story for him, quite the story. Kiffin brought him in, and he's been a dog ever since. So Ole Miss, 12-7 the score in this one. And yeah, there's Chambliss. They're just showing Trinidad doing whatever he's doing. Big T, TC, I guess. I don't know. But he's looked good early on in this game. Ole Miss has had a couple drives stall out, but for the most part, he's been balling. Now, we'll see what Ole Miss's defense has in store here because that last drive, Georgia went ground and pound, and guess what? First play, Nate Frazier up the middle, and that's going to be about 6 yards there for Frazier. Again, Ole Miss is really struggling to stop this Georgia ground game these last couple possessions. Georgia wanted to open up this game with some passes, soften up the Ole Miss defense, and, well, job well done because Ole Miss has had a bit of a tough time stopping Nate Frazier, who's currently averaging 9 yards per carry. 6 carries for 56 yards. 9.3 to be exact. 6-yard gain. Second down and 4. 2 wide receivers split out to the right. Frazier motioning to the right as well. Stockton to hand it off to Frazier. And that time, he was stuffed up in the middle by Ole Miss. Third down coming up for the Rebels here. Big third down. Again, this is what you want. You want You want to put Georgia into these pure passing situations at the very least. Look, and that's not an indictment on Gunnar Stockton or anything like that. He's a great quarterback, and there's no doubt he's very good at converting in these situations. But you don't want to have to, Georgia's going to win a lot of those short yardage battles. Keep them in 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, and you'll probably be in a solid spot. 3rd and 5 for Stockton. Man in motion. They're going to run the football. Cash Jones, the former walk-on, gets the first down on the outside zone. Again, another player in that Georgia running back rotation that Kirby Smart has a lot of trust in is Cash Jones. And just like that, another first down for the Dogs. So they do not go away from the plan. They're going to keep on running this football. They bring in Jones. Ole Miss is probably thinking it's going to be a pass. And then right there, they're trying to go inside with the stunts and stuff, inside moves, and Cash Jones just is able to take that to the outside. Great X's and O's from the Dogs. First down and 10. And it's going to be a reverse to Bowens. He had to make a man miss just to get back near the line of scrimmage. That reverse was completely shut down by Ole Miss. And it looks like we've had some little extracurricular stuff happening after these plays. Again, these teams, they don't like each other. Well, Georgia and Ole Miss, they play in the SEC most years. I think Ole Miss was in the SEC East all those years. So these teams don't like each other. So Ole Miss got the stop. Pete Golding and his defense sniffed that one out. 2nd down and 11. Again, impressive work by Bowens to even get back to the line of scrimmage or near it. 2nd and 11, Branch in motion. Stockton looking down the field, has time, going to scramble. Gunnar Stockton trying to play make, and he's going to be sacked. Dodge Chambers shot out of a cannon to go get Gunnar Stockton there, and I thought Gunnar was just going to throw that football away or try to just launch it downfield, but he takes the sack, and I bet Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart aren't too happy about that decision right there. Loss of 2. 3rd down and 13. Again, if you're Ole Miss, this is what you want. You want to put Georgia in these situations. Now I don't think you can run an outside zone with Cash Jones. It's got to be downfield with Gunnar Stockton. Branch will motion in. They're going to throw the screen. And Branch, oh my goodness, he made a man miss. Zachariah Branch, he's unbelievable. First down, Georgia. He is unbelievable. They throw the screen. Ole Miss played it about as well as you possibly could have, except for the fact that you actually have to tackle Zachariah Branch, and that is easier said than done. 2 is right there, had a great chance at him. Another man that Zachariah Branch has made to miss in the open field. He is just an unbelievable weapon. Georgia just did not have this at all last year. Their wide receivers were not very good. And Branch converts to 3rd and 13, a killing blow for Ole Miss. Now they can go back to the bread and butter. This time Frazier is stuffed, though, at the line of scrimmage. Ole Miss getting physical now. Great play right there. Franklin and Harris all over that. But, yeah, that was... Zachariah Branch is so tough, dude. Again, I don't know what his future prospects are like in the NFL, but there's surely a team that can make this guy a key gadget player in their offense or something. Because that dude, his speed, his agility... He's a dog, man. That play that he just made, incredible. 2nd down and 9. So they did get a yard out of that Frazier run. Delp is motioning. We'll see where they go. It's actually Lawson Lucky. They get it out to Frazier now. And Nate Frazier bursts free. My goodness, the Dogs, nothing complicated. They're just checking it down to their playmakers. And these guys are making so many plays after the catch right now. Frazier takes the dump off, picks up a big gain into Ole Miss territory. So even when Ole Miss does a good job stopping the run, Georgia just going to flip this one out to Frazier. Great block by Oscar Delp on the left side and allows Nate Frazier the space he needed to pick up a huge gain on this one. Again, this is just great blocking from the Dogs on the outside, and you can't give guys like Nate Frazier or Zach Branch creases. And so Ole Miss had a chance to get off the field. They missed a couple of tackles. Now all of a sudden, Georgia has it at their 25. Bell in motion. They'll go right back to the run game. And McCray is stuffed in the backfield by Ole Miss. Eccles with the tackle. 2nd down and long coming up. So there you go. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Georgia trails 12-7. They're on a great drive, though, thanks to Branch, thanks to Frazier. And again, Ole Miss, I think, has done a good job putting Georgia behind the chains this drive as opposed to the last drive. They're doing a better job keeping them behind the chains, but they just cannot seem to get off the field. They've allowed multiple bad third down conversions. I mean, an outside zone to Cash Jones. Yikes. 2nd and 12. Stockton has time. Fires end zone. Incomplete. Nearly intercepted by the Rebels. Stockton threw it into harm's way there. Nearly turns it over. It was intended for... Who's number 11? This ball's up, one-on-one coverage, and okay, maybe not. It was just he was not even looking for the pick. He was just trying to bat this one down. Goes up top on 11, and that's an easy breakup, or a good breakup. 3rd down and 12. Georgia converted a 3rd and 13 earlier in the drive with a screen to Branch. What do they have cooked up for this one? Stockton he's in shotgun formation. And Gunner takes the snap. 3-man rush. Pressure comes. Stockton steps out of it. Rolling to his left. Fires. Pass caught. Cash Jones makes a man miss. Cash Jones down to the 1-yard line. Oh my goodness. Ole Miss just cannot tackle these dogs right now. And Gunner Stockton, the pocket collapsed on him with a 3-man front, but it just did not matter because that is just what Gunner Stockton brings to the table, the mobility. He hits Cash Jones near the sideline. Stockton's going to go push into the end zone. Touchdown, Dogs! A drive where Georgia had to convert multiple 3rd and 10 pluses, and they end up in the end zone on Gunner Stockton's 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. Unbelievable drive from Georgia. I mean, that is just what they do. Pete Golding, man, your defense has got to learn how to freaking tackle. The tackling on that drive from what do you call him? From Ole Miss was atrocious. Truly awful tackling that drive. I mean, okay, Zachariah Branch is good. Cash Jones, really? You let Cash Jones juke around you? If I was an Ole Miss fan, I'd be so mad right now. Georgia's just going to take their PAT here, and they are now leading 14-12. So what a drive from Georgia. A lot of big-time plays were made. I cannot believe that they just allowed multiple 3rd and longs. And it's not like Georgia went down the middle. They threw, oh my goodness, Gunner Stockton just got destroyed on that freaking play. That's insane. That's one thing I do. I respect the heck out of Gunner Stockton, man. I really do. I respect him. Dude, Gunner Stockton's a guy who I've seen Gunner Stockton take some of the most brutal hits, and he just gets back up like it's nothing. Dude's a straight dog. Absolute dog. But anyways, Gunner doing his thing. Big drive from Zachariah Branch. That was just, again, a massive play. And now Georgia's definitely in prime position because Ole Miss, ideally you're Ole Miss. You go down the field, you score a touchdown. But Ole Miss is not getting the football at a half. Georgia gets the ball at a half. So if you get a stop here, you can take a 2-score lead after halftime. We'll see, though. I mean, this is going to be a really important drive for Ole Miss. They had a really good last drive, but again, their defense is just starting to show the shades of that first game. Yeah, just truly. Yeah, that was just. I genuinely. That's just Georgia, man. Man, Georgia just finds a way. I was so shocked when they lost to Notre Dame last year. At the same time, Georgia wasn't that great of a football team last year. Like, well, okay, they beat Texas twice. They were a very good team, but they had big time fatal flaws. That they just this team just they don't. Oh, Pete Golding's chewing out some butt on the sideline. They don't have that this year, though. That is the thing about Georgia. Last year, their wide receivers were awful. Look at these guys now. Look at Zachariah Branch out here making those plays. If Georgia ran that screen pass last year, man, that play gets like 3 yards and they punt the ball. Gunnar Stockton's obviously a much better player than he was last year. No doubt about that. And Georgia's just, I think Ole Miss did a much better job that drive in the run game. But, I mean, when you can't tackle on 3rd and long, well, 3rd and long, it is what it is. 4:05 left in the second quarter. It's been a pretty even football game so far. Ole Miss got up to a 6-0 start thanks to a couple field goals and a couple punts. But then after that, Georgia's responded with 2 touchdown drives. Ole Miss had a touchdown drive of their own in between, but Georgia had the most recent one, so it's a 14-12 Dogs lead. It would be tied if Ole Miss got their 2-point conversion, but they did not. So Ole Miss is going to fair catch this one. The yardage is even. It's like 187, 181 in favor of Georgia. Like, it's been a very even football game so far. It's really neck and neck. That's the thing, though, with Ole Miss. It's like you don't want to go into the half because Georgia usually is able to win that second half. Georgia's usually able to do their thing, right? That's what they do. Georgia dominates in the second half because of Kirby and those adjustments that he makes at halftime. They've changed things up. They throw different things at you. They throw new looks at you. And I bet he's had a month to prep for this game. I bet he's got some fun defensive stuff in store for Ole Miss. So, anyways, regardless, it's a 1st down and 10 from the 25. And Chambliss, they'll hand it off to Lacey, left side. Kawan Lacey, nice cut. He gets to the 30-yard line before being brought down. It's almost halftime. 2nd down coming up for Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss has played very well today in this first half. Definitely one of the better games. I mean, I've seen Trinidad play well multiple times this year. I think he's played really well today as well. Wow, I've said that too many times. 2nd down and 5. Lacey gets it. Left side. Bounce outside. And he's going to have a 1st down run. Kawan Lacey. He is one of the best running backs in the SEC. Big fan of his. He's a great player. He's had a really good season for Ole Miss. And he's had some nice runs today. Their offensive line, I think, is all things considered, blocked things up pretty well so far. Under 3.5 to go in this first half. Pete Golding's looking at that iPad wondering how can we get stops, and I think it's pretty simple, Pete. You got to actually tackle guys in the open field. I think that's kind of the main thing that they need to do. 1st and 10. Chambliss drops back, checks it down. Tight coverage. And he just threw that one right in between a bunch of dogs, straight to Alexander. So under 3 minutes to play. See if Trinidad and Ole Miss can get in the end zone before the first half ends. They have 2 timeouts to work with. Georgia will get the second half kickoff, so we'll see. They'll get that offense out there first. Hand off to Lacey. He finds a crease on the left side. The ball came out, and it's recovered by Georgia, and they're going to take it all the way. A game-changing play for the Dogs. Oh, man, that is just such a killer for Ole Miss right there. I mean, they've been doing well, man. They've been competing all game long, but there it is. There's that Georgia. That's just what Georgia does, man. That's just what they do. Wow, that's just who punched this out? Dalen Everett scooped it up and took it all the way to the crib. So now they had a chance to go into halftime with a lead, and instead Georgia's going to be up 2 scores. Potentially going into half. The PAT will put them up 2 scores. Oh, man, that is just a massive, massive gut punch there from Georgia. Man, that's just, wow. I got to feel for Ole Miss on that one. If y'all are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. Dalen Everett just seems to always make those plays. Kawan Lacey's on the sideline right now. He's definitely really, sad, disappointed. And Georgia's going to take the delay of game, I guess. Dalen just doing what Dalen does, man. This guy's just a playmaker. So Georgia again with a huge play right there. Massive moment in this game for them. Again, they were down early. They battled back. Their offense started to get working, and then their defense makes a huge play. Woodring knocks it through despite the penalty, and the Dogs lead 21-12. Lacey, again, I want to see where the fumble was. Yeah, right. Yeah, wow, that's just bad ball security, man. It didn't look like anyone really punched it out. He just had a bunch of bodies on him, and he just let it go. And Dalen Everett just jogged it into the end zone with one hand on the football. Georgia, man, that's big time. Yeah, that one hurts a lot for Ole Miss. Again, I really do think they were playing a great game despite the tackling. They actually were doing so well. Trinidad especially. Yeah, Dalen Everett. That's just who he is. He's a big time player. Um, Game's not over yet for sure. Ole Miss is definitely still in it, but I mean against Georgia, Georgia's not a team that you want to be behind against, especially their defense turns it up in the second half, like I've been saying, and I mean they're a team that will run that football. They don't care. Georgia's gonna run the freaking ball and take that clock down and make it really tough for you to come back. Notre Dame did it right last year. Notre Dame played flawless football, didn't turn it over, and it was their defense who eventually made the big play. But that's just how you got to get it done. Like a team like Georgia, and yeah, they didn't get it done. Yeah, Chambliss. I mean, again, Chambliss has been playing so well today, and he got let down by his star running back there, who just had a bit of a had a what do you call it? A moment of the fumblies, the dropsies. Couldn't hang on. So Ole Miss gets the football back in an extremely important drive. Now even more. I mean, hey, if Ole Miss goes down, scores a touchdown, right? Hey, you go into half down two, you live with that, right? Like, okay, the fumble sucks, but you have to regroup, right? And if you go into half down two, okay, hey, you give yourself a chance, right? Kick a field goal, well, you're still down at 6 points, so you need to get a stop. I mean, again, they have a chance. They're still in this game, but I think not getting points out of this drive would be really bad. They have to get something going. Their offense has been really good today. I think they've scored except the fumble there. I don't think Ole Miss has punted today. I think they've kicked two field goals and a touchdown, and then they just fumbled it away for six. That's how quickly a game can change, though. Both teams, they were playing neck and neck. Yardage were similar. Um, 14-12. Score was similar. Like, it was neck and neck, and then boom, fumble six. Yikes. I don't know how many fumbles Kawan Lacey's had all year. I feel like I don't know actually how many fumbles he had. But there's Georgia doing Georgia. Huge drive coming up. We'll see what Charlie Weiss, I don't know, and this Ole Miss offense, Trinidad Chambliss, see if they have in store. They have 2.5 minutes plus the 2-minute warning, the two timeouts. Here we go. Ole Miss will get the football and no return from Georgia has a guy down on special teams. Yeah, right here in the middle, and then it's just the ball just kind of pops free. It was weird. Like it wasn't like there was some big, overhand punch out or anything like that. Like he just kind of got tackled, and then that ball just came out, and well, about four Georgia players surrounded it, but Dalen Everett ended up getting it. Dalen Everett in the SEC championship game against Texas. Obviously, I really don't like this guy. He had two picks against us last year. He had a pick this year in the SEC championship, and he just scored Georgia's first defensive touchdown of the season. Wait, Georgia doesn't have a defensive touchdown this year. That was their first one. That's actually crazy. I would have never expected that to be a real stat. You're telling me Georgia didn't get a pick six against like Austin Peay or something or one of the trash teams they played, and that's pretty surprising. But there it is. I mean, hey, that's a great time to have your first defensive touchdown. That's for sure. Close battle. Wait, the transfer? Oh, the transfer portal does open tomorrow. That's gonna be fun. I should probably talk about that later in the stream. Especially this game gets out of hand at one point. Hopefully, he doesn't. Here we go. 1st and 10. Trinidad Chambliss starts at the 25. And here we go. Taking the snap, and they fake the give to Lacey. Chambliss has a lot of time. Going to launch it downfield again. Chambliss in coverage. Incomplete. Went deep into coverage looking for Caden Lee. And again, we've seen him hit a couple beautiful deep balls today. That one really never had a chance. KJ Bolden and the Georgia defensive backs. Oh, I do not know what Trinidad was thinking with this throw. Oh my gosh. That just never stood a chance, bro. What the heck? All right, whatever. It is what it is. 2nd down and 10 for Ole Miss. Man in motion. Chambliss fake. Throws underneath. Pass is caught. And Alexander reels that one in. A few yards shy of the 1st down. That's the big difference right now is Georgia's doing a nice job actually tackling and wrapping people up. Ole Miss is just getting juked out of their shoes today. 3rd down and 3, and I think that's going to take it to the 2-minute warning. Georgia leading by 9 here in the Sugar Bowl. A year ago, the Dogs could barely muster up any points against Notre Dame, who ended up making the national championship game. But a year later, 21 first-half points for Georgia. They lead by 9 at the 2-minute warning in this one. Just out of curiosity, I remember that game. I streamed it. It was 23-10. Yeah, I remember. That was such a super defensive game. Looking at it here. Yeah, Notre Dame did their thing last year for real against Georgia. Notre Dame really stuck it to him. Riley Leonard only threw for 90 yards, but he ran for 80. Jeremiah Love did nothing. 6 carries, 90. Yeah, he didn't do anything. The first quarter, it was punts. Then Georgia had that long drive. Then who fumbled? Was it Frazier who fumbled? Who fumbled this last one? It was Trevor Etienne. He fumbled deep in Notre Dame territory. Notre Dame Georgia kicked a field goal. Notre Dame kicked a field goal. Notre Dame kicked a field goal. And then that was kind of like what happened in this game with Ole Miss, right? Very similar stuff. It was a close game. And then I remember Gunnar Stockton got rocked and fumbled right before halftime. And then Notre Dame scored on the next play. And then, first play of the 3rd quarter, Notre Dame returned the kickoff for a touchdown. And that was pretty much an insurmountable deficit at that point. Georgia was 20-3, and Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame just did their thing. I mean, let's see. What did Notre Dame do? Field goal drive, Riley Leonard run, Jadarian Price run, Jordan Faison run, incomplete pass, pass completion, field goal. And then they had a 12-play drive where they punted. Price run, completion from Leonard, incompletion, Price run, Leonard run, 1st down, and Williams run, Thomas run, Leonard run, Price run. Like Notre Dame did to Georgia what Georgia does to like 97% of the teams they play against, which is just physically impose their will and beat them up front. That's what they did. They dominated up front in that game. You know what I mean? That's what they did. Early, late, they did their thing, and that's why I've always thought that. That's why I always thought that this game was always gonna be an uphill battle because Georgia is just so much more physical than like everybody. And Ole Miss has to play pretty much perfect because Georgia's going to be able to run that football and do their thing. Here we go. Big 3rd down here for Chambliss in this offense. 3rd and 3 from the 32. Trinidad Chambliss. We'll see what the Dogs run. They motion Winston Watkins, the young receiver, out wide. Now he motions back inside. Chambliss gets him set. Now he motions again. Chambliss going to look. Pressure. Chambliss over the middle. Incomplete. Oh, that's a bad drop by the tight end. And Georgia's going to get a stop with that one. Oh, my gosh. This is just... You can't do this. Not against Georgia. Never. It wasn't a good throw, really. It was a little behind his tight end. I think it was at Knox, the tight end. He threw it behind him for sure. But in that moment, Those are the miscues you can't have. Not against Georgia. You will lose every single time. Drops, fumbles for 6. Like, Ole Miss has just made mistakes that Georgia will not make. Because here's Branch. Fair catches that one inside the 20 at the 16, I think. And another miscue from Ole Miss. So first it was the fumble from Lacey. Now it's the drop from the tight end. I think it was at Knox. And so now Georgia gets the football back with a chance to extend the lead again. I said that drive was really important for Ole Miss because now it's Georgia who can build on this lead going into half. This scramble drill from Gunnar Stockton is really what changed the game. Great throw there to Cash Jones, who then ended up making people miss. Not Knox. It was Daquan Wright who dropped that last pass. My bad. My bad, whoever Knox is. I don't know. Probably saw an NCAA playing with Ole Miss one time or something. I don't know. So Georgia has all their timeouts. Their first couple drives of the game, they had 37 yards. Their last 2 drives, 150 yards. Georgia's been looking good. They start at their own 17, and it looks like it's going to be a screen. Noah Stockton, keeper, and he's driven into the ground. A big hit from Eccles there, and I mean, Gunnar Stockton just got destroyed. Ole Miss with 2 timeouts. We'll see if they use them. Georgia not pressing the issue right now. No timeouts, no nothing. They're going to let the clock run. We're about at a minute and a half. So Stockton just got lit up right there. They tried to fake that screen and then have Stockton go up the middle, which they ran a similar concept earlier on that touchdown where it was a RPO flat and Stockton took it. That time Ole Miss was ready and Stockton got bullied in the ground. Branch inside right here, which is an interesting formation. 2nd and 12. Stockton takes that time down, and they'll run a play for Branch outside. Branch gets about a yard or 2, and Ole Miss is going to call that second time out of the half with 58 seconds left. So Kirby tried to get the ball to his star playmaker, Zachariah Branch, who we've already seen in this game. He's making some crazy plays. So I'm interested to see what Georgia does here. It's 3rd and 10, right? You don't want to press the issue too much to the point where it's like, okay, it's like weird because yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you do here? Like, if you don't want to throw it, you don't want to press you want to get the first down because then you had 3 timeouts and it's like, okay, we can go score. At the same time, you don't want to throw an incompletion because then that stops the clock, keeps Ole Miss, saves Ole Miss's last timeout. Like, I could definitely see Georgia running the ball here, forcing Ole Miss to call their last timeout, punting. Thorson's a great punter. You'd flip the field and make it dang near impossible. That's just kind of the way that Kirby usually is. He's more aggressive with like field position and stuff like that and special teams than like offense necessarily. But we'll see, Bubba. We'll see what he does. They're keeping Kirby on the sideline. One of those guys on the sideline just like grabbed Kirby from behind because Kirby likes to get up on that sideline. And well, Georgia got called in this game last year for freaking sideline interference. Yep, not surprised. They're going to go to Cash Jones, run it up the middle. He's going to be driven back. He got a few yards. Ole Miss calls their final time out of the half with 52 seconds left. So, I look, Georgia. I've watched again. I say it like a lot. I've watched Georgia a lot again the past couple of years. I've watched Georgia beat us 3 times. I kind of get how Kirby Smart likes to approach things in these situations. Kirby Smart is a defensive head coach. He's always going to trust his team to be more physical. He's always going to trust his defense. In Kirby's mind, it's not worth it to try to throw a pass on 3rd down and try to be aggressive and get the first down when you can flip the field. They have no timeouts left and try to stop them. It lessens the chance of them getting a touchdown, right? Or, worst case scenario, Gunnar throws a pick, which I don't think he would do. Gunnar's been really good today, but you know what I mean. It's Kirby Smart likes to play it more like on the conservative side in situations like that. Again, he has his moments. Kirby Smart's an extremely aggressive coach. But like in that situation, it's just I feel like it's a low risk, high risk, low reward situation to really go crazy for that. You know what I mean? Like Coach Sark, we might try to pass that for the first down. But I don't know. We'll see. Thorson, again, one of the best punters in the country. He'll punt this one away and try to pin Ole Miss deep. 4th and 7. And Georgia will see what they do. Play clock is down to 5. Thorson's back. And Ole Miss is going to rush it. Thorson gets it off. This one's going to be back near the 30. And fair caught there by Harrison Wallace. So that is a big field flipper right there, because now with 46 seconds left, no timeouts, Ole Miss has to get pretty far. Now, we have seen their kicker drill a couple of long ones today, so obviously, there's a little leniency with that field goal range for sure. I mean, if you're Ole Miss, a touchdown is probably not realistic right now. I think you probably go for the field goal, try to see what you can do. But you never know. Maybe you can hit a big play. 46 seconds to go. 21-12. Dogs lead. Thanks to a Dalen Everett scoop and score. That's what looms large right now. It's been a strong defensive half for Georgia and offense. A couple touchdown drives. They've been really good. And here's Trinidad Chambliss. From the 26-yard line, Chambliss drops back, looking down the field. It's going to be a check down caught at the 30. And that really does not do a whole lot for Ole Miss. The clock's going to keep running. And now it's going to be at about 30 seconds when they get this snap off. Chambliss is going to have to go deep down the field here, and he's going to look down the field. That pass is caught. Oh, whoa. That's going to be probably a targeting call, and that could be really big. Caden Lee makes the catch. He just got slammed into the ground, and I think Georgia may have just committed the cardinal sin of college football. We'll see what the call is. He got slammed down pretty violently, though. But again, if they call targeting on the field, they'll review it. It looked really violent on live, but obviously we'll see what it is here. Shoulder to the head and neck. That's not targeting, right? Well, that is. Oh, wait. He launched to the head and neck area, though. Let me hear what the rules experts have to say about this. Let's see I want to hear what the replay official, because he didn't lead with the crown of the helmet, but he did launch his arm into the upper head and neck area. So the rules expert thinks it's targeting. Again, it's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, didn't lead with the crown of the helmet, but he did put his arm up, forcible contact to the head and neck area. The receiver was defenseless coming across the middle there. I don't know. Like there was a very similar play in the Texas-Arizona State game last year with Isaiah Bond. Okay, well, they just quickly called that and upheld that. So Thomas is done for the game. So Georgia now is in a tough spot. Ole Miss is in great field position, and Chambliss is going to launch it downfield, incomplete. Harrison Wallace. So I think Ole Miss is definitely, there's only 19 seconds left. They got to play to try to get some points. This will be a long field goal. What is Chambliss going to do? Kirby looking anxious right now. He's grabbing that headset. Yes, sir. They're at the 43-yard line. Georgia fans not happy. Chambliss over the middle. Pass is dropped again. Caleb Odom, the intended target, and that would have been what they needed to get into comfortable field goal range. But another drop from Ole Miss. They're having a tough time here. I mean, this is an easy catch. It hits him right in the chest. It's right on the money, and he just drops it and boots it. That is just a terrible... Again, Ole Miss is just making so many mistakes on offense. They keep dropping passes. Obviously, the fumble was huge. And these guys got to pull their heads out their butts, dude. These guys are playing so bad offensively. They got bailed out with that freaking targeting, and that's the only reason why they have a chance right now. 15 seconds left, and we'll see what Chambliss does. The play clock's down. They get the snap off. Trinidad's looking. Gonna go to the sideline, passes Clot. That could be really stupid. That is gonna be really stupid. Oh my gosh, Ole Miss is so stupid. Ole Miss is so dumb. That's the end of the first half. What in the world is Daquan Wright thinking? What in the world are they thinking? That is just wow. That is just awful. Truly. I mean, I'm about to hit up dinner here and I'll be back for the second half. Y'all click that subscribe button. But 15 seconds when the ball snapped. Checks it down. Wright is right near the sideline. He is right next to the sideline when he catches this ball. All he has to do is step out of bounds like a couple feet. He decided to turn it upfield and try to get a first down. What are you thinking? That's one of the biggest moronic plays I've ever seen in a college football game. Anyways, Georgia leads by 9, and they get ball at a half. Ole Miss could have made it a one-score game. Just awful. Truly, truly the most moronic stuff ever. But regardless, that's going to do it for the first half. Hope you guys all having a good one. Be sure to click the sub button if you're listening, and I will be back for the second half. I'm going to go eat some dinner, though. Until then, I'll see y'all later. 21-12 Dogs. Good first half from them. Kirby and his boys looking good. So here we go. It is time for the second half. Here we go, boys. This is a big game right here. Ole Miss, like they had a bad end of the first half. A lot of missed tackles in that game. They got outscored by Georgia 21-6 in that second quarter. It was bad. Ole Miss did not play very well at the end of that game. At the end of that quarter, at the end of that half, and it's got them where they're at right now. They're down 21-12. That fumble was a killer in a lot of ways. And then just a horrible play by Daquan Wright at the end of the first half. I mean, you got a kicker out here drilling 50 yarders like it's nothing. You got to give that dude a shot. And this dude, Wright, on the sideline, could have just stepped out of bounds, take your points. Nope. Instead, you're still down 2 scores. Georgia getting the football with a chance to make it a 28-12 game with a touchdown. Here we go. Georgia, Ole Miss, Sugar Bowl action underway. And here we go. The Dogs will get the football to start the second half. Again, they start off a little slow. Ole Miss's miscues in the second quarter made it happen. Again, started the big one with the Kawan Lacey fumble that Dalen Everett returned for a touchdown. That was the big one. And then a couple drops. Wright had one. Odom had one. And then at the end of the half, Wright had an easy sideline right there. Could have went out of bounds at like the 38. Instead, he turns upfield, and it ends up being a Ole Miss. The Ole Miss runs out of time because they had no timeout. So, big yikes for them in that situation. And so now, I mean, you got to try to right your wrongs in the second half against a very good Georgia football team. One of these teams will punch their ticket to the semifinals against Miami. Stockton drops back, has a lot of time, fires down the middle, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Ole Miss. Stockton wound back like he was about to fire that one down the field. It's incomplete. Second out and 10 coming up for Georgia. So this Ole Miss defense has got to figure it out. Georgia started to really get going. And yeah, there's Ole Miss's big miscues. Didn't get the 2-point conversion. It'd be a 1-score game if they just took the PAT. Hindsight 2020 though. Lacey with that fumble. 4 drops as well. Season high for Ole Miss in drops. It happens. Second down and 10. Bowens. No, Stockton running behind a couple of guys, and he gets taken down. Gunnar Stockton is, again, one of the toughest quarterbacks I've ever seen on a football field for sure. This guy, like, he's just relentless. He goes out there, and he'll run until his legs, until he just can't anymore. Seen him take some brutal hits, and he just gets up and keeps going. Has 2 rushing touchdowns today for Georgia. Third down and 6 coming up. They're going to probably call Stockton's number here. Georgia's playmakers have been amazing in the open field today. Branch, Cash Jones even making people miss. Can Ole Miss get off the field on third down and 6? Here we go. 3rd and 6. Stockton going to run it himself, and he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Ole Miss stuffs him in the backfield, and Georgia will be forced to punt out of halftime. Eccles has been fantastic in the middle today. Plug that one up. Fourth down and 6. Thorson will punt this one away. And Ole Miss didn't really try to rush that one too much. This one will go down inside the 25. So Ole Miss's defense gets the job done out of the half. They stopped the run game. They didn't let Gunnar Stockton bust off a big one. And now it's up to their offense to get going and make this a 1-score game. First and 10 coming up. First and 10. Ole Miss in a big spot here. Offense has got to get going. They start at their own 21-yard line. Trinidad Chambliss had a good first half. His teammates let him down with some drops and fumbles. And bad brain moments as well. Brain farts. Chambliss starts the half off firing left side, and a great contested catch by De'Zhaun Stribling. He's made some great plays in this game. He's their big play guy, and Stribling with a great catch and one-on-one coverage on the left side. 63 yards on the day for Stribling. So the wide receivers out there, it's Stribling, Lee, Wallace, and then you have Daquan Wright. Those are your three. Those are your big weapons. Wright is in, looking like he's about to block. Lacey in the backfield. Chambliss changing up the play, calling something out. He drops back a few yards. 1st and 10 from the 40. Handoff. Lacey up the middle. Helmet flew off. Georgia stuffs Lacey at the line of scrimmage, though. Well, there goes a helmet from one of Georgia's defensive linemen. How did that helmet fly off is a good question. Maybe hands to the face. It's Christian Miller mad with, talking with Kirby Smart on the sideline. And when your helmet comes off, you have to come out for a play. So there you go. That's unfortunate. 2nd down and 10. Miller got to get that helmet strapped back on. Chambliss drops back, middle of the field. Pass is caught. Going to be about 1.5 yards short of the 1st down. That's Harrison Wallace making another catch. He's been the main target tonight. He's caught a lot of Chambliss's passes. Him and Stribling. Stribling's been more of the deep guy, and then Wallace has caught a lot of the underneath. A couple deep balls here and there, though. Like he got that one in midfield. Screen pass to Caden Lee on 3rd down, and he is stopped. Great physicality by the Georgia defense. Again, that has been the difference in this game, in my opinion. Tackling, a fundamental part of football. Georgia has been tackling really well in the open field. A lot of Ole Miss's offense they're not really getting a whole lot of yak, but they are just making, some big plays, contested catches here and there. Georgia, they've been able to make people miss, make great cuts in the open field. And right there, Caden Lee could have had that 1st down, and he didn't get it. Now it's 4th and 1, man in motion. It's a direct snap to Lacey, and he is stuffed. He is stuffed by Georgia. Georgia will have the football at midfield. They went with the direct snap. The Dogs crash inside, and an easy 1st down. An easy 4th down stop for the Dogs. I mean, they make it look so easy. That's just destroying Ole Miss up front. They try to get him fooled with the motion, but Lacey had nowhere to go. He ran right into just 2 or 3 Georgia Bulldogs. Nothing you can do. I mean, I think I see the vision with the play call, but it's like at some point you can't trust your guy. I don't know if at Ole Miss, I don't think you can trust this offensive line against Georgia, to be honest. I don't think you even can. Oh, man. Yikes, bro. Big yikes, man. Ole Miss just isn't physical enough, I think. That's kind of the main issue. Just not physical enough. They're getting bodied up front a lot. And that's the main deal. Yeah, they're showing the fourth down stop again. Look, Georgia just comes right. They just win off the edge right there. They got someone in there, but pretty much the pushback from the Georgia defensive line. K'Wan Lacey had nowhere to go, so he gets pushed back, and then he has no chance for a cutback because the Georgia guys were coming off the edge. And now Georgia starts with it at the Ole Miss 49. Stockton pitched to Frazier, and he's tackled for about a gain of 1 or 2. So, I mean, they're doing really well. Ole Miss is doing really well defensively. They did really well defensively the first drive. And if they can get another stop here, that'd be great. But, man, their offense, they just keep making mistakes. They keep dropping passes. They can't block in those critical moments, and Georgia's up 9 for a reason. So here we go. Frazier on the backfield, 2nd and 9. And Frazier, 57 yards, rushing 31 receiving. He's been a dual threat. Stockton and off Frazier, or is that McCray? He just got blown up. The ball came out at the end. Ole Miss recovered it. They're going to rule him down at the moment. They blew the play dead. They're going to stop it and say that forward progress wins out here. So this is Stockton. Oh, wow. I didn't know if it was like faked, but yeah, Stockton trips on his own lineman and has to get this handoff off to Frazier. And I think that just kind of messed up the timing of the play maybe. And then Frazier gets driven back and loses a couple yards or, something like that. They didn't lose too much. 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9 from the Ole Miss 48. Stockton dropping back on 3rd down. Has time. Fires right side at the sticks. And they're going to call it a catch about a yard short. A flag also flies in from the secondary. This is going to be pass interference and a Georgia 1st down. So Colby Young made the catch despite the contact. And Ole Miss is going to be called for a personal foul. Not personal foul, but a 15-yard penalty, 1st down. And a lot of concerned looks on the faces of Ole Miss fans right now as Colby Young. I think Colby Young may have had that at the sticks too. That's just a nice play by him. It was a little fight down there. 1st and 10. Nate Frazier they're now at the 39, and they're going to go to Frazier again, left side, and he is going to be stopped up there. Going to fight for as many yards as possible, but Frazier's going to be taken down. It's going to bring up a 2nd down. Second down and 8 coming up. Hand off to Bell on the jet sweep, and he's going to throw a double pass, incomplete. Huh? Hold on, bro. Hand off to Bell on the jet sweep, and he's going to throw a double pass, incomplete. Oh my gosh. That was almost really bad. What? I was so confused about what they did. They did like a jet sweep into a double pass, and they shut the end. They contained it. They shut the edge down, and then he just tossed it away down the field. And now for the 2nd time this drive, 3rd down and 8 for Georgia. 4-man rush. Stockton has time, checks it down underneath, and I think it's incomplete. So, is that Kite? Yeah, Kite got called for pass interference on the last 3rd down and 8. This time, though, no flag, and it's 4th down and 8. Georgia probably going to have to kick a field goal. Peyton Woodring, long been one of the more accurate kickers in college football. His career long is 55 yards. And this is 55, they say. Here we go. Woodring has been a great kicker for many years. From the left hash, 55 yards. Kick is on the way. It's up, and it looks good. But it's short. It is short from Peyton Woodring. And Georgia cannot extend the lead. So it looked like it was good. It was kicking, it was drifting, and like, okay, it's going to get in there. And then it just falls short. It dies in the Superdome. And that's a big win for Ole Miss right there. To turn the ball over at midfield on downs and Georgia not to get any points out of that, that's massive. This kick, it stayed true. It stayed true. It just fell a little bit short. Just a little bit short. It actually was so freaking close, but it just falls short. That's big time. That's a big time missed field goal because now, hey, Ole Miss is in the same spot they were coming in. Where hey, a touchdown, now you're in a good spot, right? So we shall see, boys. What is that? So yeah, this is just a huge drive coming up. They really do. They really do need to lock in. Ole Miss has got to go get some points, man. They do. They really need it. They can't afford to go three and out. They get good field position too because of the missed kick. Like you got to get it done. So here we go. Ole Miss with another drive. They haven't. It's now been a little while since they scored that touchdown. It was the Chambliss pass to Luke Oz. Georgia leads off of again that Dalen Everett fumble six. That was the big play that has them up 21-12. Here we go. Trinidad Chambliss. He's played well, but again, he's got to really find an extra gear here or something. First and 10. First and 10. Chambliss boots out right, passes caught underneath. Stribling makes the catch, and he gets a decent gain there. First and 10. Chambliss boots out right. And there we go. Stribling up to 75 yards on the day. 8 minutes to go in the third. A lot of football left to be played. Ole Miss not out of this yet. They're at about midfield. They go Lacey. Trying to find a lane. Kawan Lacey gets to the 43-yard line of Georgia for being taken down. So Kawan Lacey. Is it Kiwan? Yeah, we'll just say Lacey. Good game there. Ole Miss has got to just keep blocking well up front. And Chambliss he's got to take over at some point. It's second down and 3. Split backfield, Lacey and Diggs, and they go Lacey left side, makes a nice cut, makes a spin, all for naught. He's taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's the problem. It's like you're trying to establish this run game. Georgia's not having it. Georgia is just, again, their defense is so well coached. You know, like Georgia, they're going to make those tackles in the open field. They're not going to let you do any crazy stuff. And Lacey tried to hit some nice moves there to prevent that from being a big loss. And yeah, Georgia was all over it. KJ Bolden, 9 tackles today. I mean, that is really what it is. Like, it is just they're so disciplined when it comes to tackling. 3rd and 2, and a pop pass over to Stribling, and he is just going nowhere. Georgia's defense, unreal. Christian Miller in the middle to stuff it up. It's 4th down and short. They tried to go with a pop pass there, and it just got completely destroyed and shut down. Amazing work by Kirby's defense. 4th down and 3. Obviously, you got to keep your offense out there. And for Ole Miss, trying not to go turnover on downs the second straight possession from midfield. It's 4th down and 3 from the Georgia 44. Daquan Wright in motion. Georgia shows pressure. They're sending it. Allen's coming. It's picked up. Chambliss fires down the middle. Pass caught. 1st down. Harrison Wallace makes a cut. Harrison Wallace down inside the 10. The protection was amazing from Ole Miss there. Their offensive line was tremendous. And Harrison Wallace, he's been the go-to guy most of the night. He gets open over the middle, makes the play, nearly split the whole defense. He got taken down, but it's 1st down and goal for Ole Miss. Chambliss waiting for the official to let him call a play. It's an empty look. We'll see if they go back to the quarterback run. 1st and goal. Chambliss, man in motion. It's Winston Watkins, and it's Chambliss taking it up the middle, and Georgia stuffs him. A couple yards maybe. Dude, I just don't. I get it. Like, no, I don't. Stop running the ball up the middle. Georgia's clogging it. You're not beating Georgia. Your offensive line's not good enough to consistently beat them up the middle. Chill with the inside run. Stop with the QB powers at the middle. They're not getting blocked up well. Let Chambliss roll out and do his thing. I just don't. The up the middle running just isn't getting the job done. Georgia's defense is too physical. We'll see, though. 2nd down and goal from the 7. Man in motion, and they're going to go. Lacey, handoff, outside run. Kawan Lacey, touchdown, Ole Miss. Maybe the outside runs work a little bit better, but Lacey scores the touchdown, and a PAT away from Ole Miss, making it a 2-point game. What a touchdown by Lacey. Great run there to the outside. It was actually really well blocked up, and Ole Miss making it an interesting football game all of a sudden. The sorority and frat kids that are there hyped up. What a year for Kewan Lacey, dude. The fumble today wasn't good. Really rough moment. Here we go. 2-point game if the PAT goes through the uprights, and it is good. And Ole Miss has done it. They've made it a close game once again, a 1-score game. 21-19. Kewan Lacey, one of the best running backs in the sport. The little delay on the zone maybe kept some eyes in the backfield and eyes on Chambliss. And Lacey just does what he does best. Kirby Smart, not happy, screaming, jumping up and down, yelling. I see some people yelling about holding. Oh boy, Kirby. Oh boy. Good one. Anyways. That's just, man. That's huge, bro. That is so freaking huge. I cannot, that just, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, they're back in the game. They're back in the game for sure. Now your defense has to go get another stop. I'm interested to see what Georgia does. Do they go back to the aggressive Um, they just go back. Do they go back to just straight ground and pound? Do they try to go, screen game, get Branch more involved? Because that last drive, it wasn't good. Georgia did not have a very good last drive. They got the PI, and then they pretty much did like very similar stuff and didn't get anything going. I mean, yeah, this is 6 plays. So like after they got the PI, 2-yard run, the double pass thing, and then another incompletion. Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I didn't really see the vision. I mean, you try to catch them off guard with the double pass. They played away. You live and learn. But we'll see if Georgia really goes and tries to attack up the middle. Just grind out a long drive. Keep that Ole Miss offense on the sideline after they're a little more confident. This is just a great run though. Lacey makes a nice cut and then well blocked to the outside, touchdown. So Kirby was down near the goal line. Kirby was not happy again. He ran all the way down near the end zone and started like jumping up and down and screaming for the hold. This 4th down though, this is where the drive was saved. 4th down, great protection from the offensive line. I mean, he literally ran all the way down there to start like jumping around screaming, "Coach Smart, you can't get every call, big dog." So that big 36-yard completion to Wallace is what set it up. Lacey got the touchdown, and now Georgia has it on their own 25. Stockton, play action, going down the field. He's pressured, has to throw it to the Ole Miss sideline, incomplete. The one thing about Gunnar Stockton is a clutch guy, bro. There's no doubt about that. You can't question Gunnar Stockton's toughness, and he's clutch, man. In Neyland, that 4th down and 8 throw that, has Georgia where they are right now. If he doesn't complete that pass, maybe they end up with 2 losses. Maybe they don't get the first round bye. That's for probably don't get the first round bye. They don't make the SEC championship. He's clutch, man. 2nd down and 10. They're going to run the football left side. Bowens got trapped behind one of his guys. Look, he was full head of steam for the 1st down, but he got stuck about 5 yards down the field, and you had to try to cut back, and he's taken down. Doesn't have that Nate Frazier agility. 3rd down, and I think they're about 3rd down and 5 or 4. See what the measurement is here. This is a huge play in this game, though. 3rd and 5. Ole Miss. We'll see what Pete Golding calls up here on the defensive side. 3rd down. Georgia 3 for 8 on the day. They motion Bell out to the left. Huge play. Stockton throws over the middle. It's batted down, incomplete. Ole Miss's defense makes another big play. They've been fantastic tonight batting those passes down. Eccles has been amazing in the middle. He bats this one down. And he comes in. Oh my gosh, he almost intercepted that. Oh, that would have been insane. He perfectly played this passing lane though. And yeah, he had it. He nearly had a pick. And now, all of a sudden, Thorson, okay, Georgia's shifting up the punt formation. You got to be ready for a fake at all times with Kirby Smart. They're going to fake the punt. They're going to fake the punt, and they got it. Lawson Lucky and Georgia, unreal. Wow. That is one of the biggest, my gosh, Kirby. That is just, I don't know how he does it, bro. I don't know how every single time they do some of this special teams nonsense, it always works out perfectly. This is just a great play design, though. And a great throw, by the way, was a wide receiver? Whoever threw that, was a punter? I don't know. Whoever threw that pass just threw a beauty. So just like that, I mean, that's got to be so demoralizing for Ole Miss. Georgia now gets it at the 46. Now Stockton boots. Going deep, Gunnar Stockton, far as his arm can take him, and way overthrown, incomplete. Oh boy. Yeah, that is just, holy cow. That was an amazing, Man, it always works out. Kirby, whether onside kicks, fake punts, you always have to be ready with Kirby Smart, bro. You can never, ever, 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 ever let your guard down. If it's fourth and like under 10, Kirby, there's always a chance that he fakes it. There's always a chance, bro. That's insane. It was a little reverse with Cash Jones. They got it to number 84, who threw the dime to Lawson Lucky, one of their tight ends, who was like, it was like a release concept type of deal. Second down and 10. Stockton booting out to the left side. He's going to run. Stockton jump pass. Oh my goodness. What a play by Gunner. And Georgia's inside the 30. Colby Young. They were covering Young out of the backfield for the longest time. And then eventually he finally broke free. It looked like he was covered. And then they eventually pursued Gunner and Stockton with a pop pass out to him. And he gets it out to Young. Phenomenal Gunner Stockton. Now he's going to fake it and just run. Gunner has nowhere to go this time, though. Oh, boy. And Stockton is a little shaken up at the end of that run there. Obviously, every Georgia fan got to be concerned. I mean, this dude is just tough as nails. But I still can't get over the fake punt. Ole Miss, like, that demoralizes your whole team, right? Like, you're in an amazing position. You just got to stop. You have momentum. Oh, God, that's another tough hit. You have so much momentum, and then you give up a fake punt, and Kirby steals all the momentum back. It's like, you got to be ready for it, but it's just so creative. Stockton has a lot of time. He checks it down to Branch near the sideline, and Branch stumbles out of bounds. Going to bring up another third down. Third down and 6. Third and 6. They've been money. Stockton fakes the screen. Pressure comes. Stockton stepping up. Can he make magic? He's going to be taken down. A little past the 20. He tried to make something magical happen. He just couldn't get it done. Fourth down and medium. And I don't know, Georgia, the trickeration might be done. All that, and hey, you know what? To get 3 points out of that drive is insane. It was dead to rights. They had nothing left, and they still managed to get points out of it because of Kirby's fake punt. Ridiculous. I mean, again, it's crazy. This one's a lot easier for Woodring. 55 was tough. This is from 37. A lot more manageable for Peyton. Field goal is up, and that one's straight through the middle. His accuracy is not the problem. He just didn't have the distance. So that one's money. 24-19 Georgia. So obviously Kirby went for the gamble, hoping they could extend it to 2 scores. Ole Miss, down 9, has a chance to make it, has a chance to take the lead. The fake punt, Cass Jones, and ends up with Lawson Lucky. Just, again, unbelievable Kirby Smart magic. And then Stockton, crushing hit right there, but he's just doing his thing. 30 seconds left in the third. Ole Miss getting the football back. Huge drive for Ole Miss once again. I mean, every drive matters. There's 30 seconds left in the third. Ole Miss has battled back to where they can take the lead. They cannot make miscues, though. Chambliss handoff. Watkins tripped up in the backfield by Georgia. And I think that's just going to take us to the final quarter of football. Ole Miss trailing by 5. Lawson Lucky, what a play. Again, that fake punt. If Georgia goes on to win the national championship, that's a play that you'll look back on. Ole Miss is hurrying up to the line. I don't think they'll snap the ball again, though. 8 seconds left. 7, 6. Yeah, no, they're not calling another play. No way. Yeah. Fourth quarter in the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss and Georgia. It's been a great game. It's been back and forth at times. Georgia's had the lead for most of the second half, for all the second half, but Ole Miss is battling back. It's 24-19 Georgia. Ole Miss football. I give Ole Miss credit for not backing down. Because, like, at the end of the day, right? I mean, look, here's the deal. End of the day, you know what? Ole Miss came this game. They were a 6.5-point underdog. And, I don't think many people have given Ole Miss much of a chance to win. I mean, if Lane Kiffin was still coaching, a lot of people would probably say they have a chance. But they're not. They don't have Lane Kiffin. So, oh, gosh, bad voice cry there. I think that they've really battled well in this one. I think that they've done a good job. They've stayed in this football game. They battled really hard till the finish line here. They have 1 quarter to go, and they just gotta continue to be physical, right? I think their defensive line's play has improved a lot as the game has gone on. They were getting pushed around a little bit in that second quarter. I think they've done a much better job since then of maintaining the line of scrimmage. And again, look, giving up a fake punt, that's what's got to be like one of the most demoralizing things that can happen to you on a football field. Imagine you play great defense, you get a stop against an offense that's had a lot of success against you this year. You get off the stop, you have all the momentum, you just scored a touchdown, you just got to stop. Like, all the momentum's on Ole Miss's side, and then that is why Kirby Smart is such an amazing coach. Really, like, Kirby Smart is able to just steal momentum and like that. He's done it so many times, bro. Texas last year in the SEC championship, fake punt, converted. Georgia ended up scoring that drive, winning that game. Against Texas earlier this year, he onside kicked against us. We were only down like 11 points. Like, the game was still like, there was still a chance, and, well, onside kick pretty much ended our chance of winning that game too. So, and then now, like, that onside, the fake punt right there, it's like they were deep in their own territory. Like, if they don't get that fake punt, like, you're in trouble, right? And everybody's probably saying, oh, Kirby, you're an idiot. Why would you fake a freaking punt? But the play design was beautiful. You reverse it. You get Lawson Lucky on, like, a little, chip and release type of concept where he just, he blocks up and then releases out. Wide open. Great execution from Georgia there as well. Again, that's definitely a play they've been working on in practice. And again, at that moment, Kirby felt, hey, it's 4th and 5. This is a good time to run it, steal some momentum back. And that's what he does, bro. He has these plays and these types of things set for these situations. We're like, okay, game's starting to slip away from us a little bit. We gotta, we gotta, steal some momentum back. And Georgia enters this fourth quarter with the lead. They have the longest streak in FBS right now at 75 straight wins when leading entering the fourth. Georgia, when they have a lead, they're not a team that's easily beat. And Trinidad, Chambliss, and Ole Miss, if they want to move on to the semifinals, they'll have to break that streak. 2nd down and 11 from the 24. Chambliss drops back. Everett late blitz. Chambliss running around for his life. Got to get rid of it. He flips it out to Kawan Lacey, who's got the first down, unless he stepped out earlier. We'll see what the officials mark him at. Kirby thinks he went out of bounds earlier, but that's an unbelievable play by Trinidad Chambliss. Everett comes in on a blitz. Lacey picks it up. Chambliss nearly ran into a sack. He got out of it, flips it out to Kawan Lacey. And again, if he was able to tightrope that sideline, he had a first down. Okay, so they marked him well short. All right, yeah, I was about to say, that would be ridiculous. 3rd down and 7. Still, they could have lost a lot of yards, and they did not. 3rd and 7. Lee motions inside. Chambliss, pressure from Everett. He's got to get out of there. And this play's cooked. Trinidad Chambliss, it's backyard football. He's trying to make a miracle play. Flips it downfield. Oh, big hit, Lacey. First down, Ole Miss. Oh my. I got excited there because I thought that Lacey was about to die. Chambliss, by the way, I don't know how he managed to get this to a first down, but Lacey, I thought Lacey was about to meet his demise on this play. I'm so serious. Chambliss just ran around all the way back near his own end zone, flips it out there to Lacey, and again, this Georgia player is coming in at 100 miles an hour, just like, it's KJ Bolden. Yeah, just like Georgia's driving. Looked like he was driving one of those cars with the hit that he looked about to put on, but Bolden just took a blow, and he's banged up. So Georgia, with KJ Bolden banged up right now, this is not good. Georgia's already lost one of their safeties. Thomas left the game earlier because of targeting. He was ejected from the game. And CJ Allen's one of their star players, one of the best players in that defense. He's banged up apparently on the sideline. And KJ Bolden obviously not looking too good either. First and 10 from the 35. Trinidad Chambliss. Play action. Chambliss scrambling around. He just cannot be stopped. Down the field. Oh my gosh, Trinidad Chambliss! Unbelievable throw to Harrison Wallace. How is Trinidad Chambliss? Trinidad Chambliss is unbelievable, and Ole Miss. Oh my gosh, Trinidad Chambliss. Unbelievable, sir. Chambliss throws the screen out to Stribling, and he's going to get out of bounds. Second down and 2. Flow state. That is what Trinidad Chambliss is in right now. This dude is unbelievable. Can he get him into the end zone? Why is the play clock so low? They got to get a snap off. Chambliss gets it off. And a handoff to Kewan Lacey. Got the first down, I believe. And they'll be at the 10-yard line. At the 10-yard line, first and goal, Trinidad Chambliss, empty set. What'll they do? It's going to be Chambliss rolling to the right. Chambliss taking off, and he gets to about the 6-yard line. This game is where these are the moments that players become legends in this sport. Trinidad Chambliss trying to make Ole Miss history and get him to the Final Four. Second down and goal. Lacey up the middle. Did he stretch it over the goal line? Touchdown, Ole Miss! Kewan Lacey. Unbelievable. hitting the Michael Irvin. 8 plays, 75 yards. Ole Miss, without Lane Kiffin, is battling for it all. He's in. He reached the ball over. That stretch got him in. They're going to go for 2 to make this a 3-point game. And again, you have to put the ball in Chambliss' hands here. Come on. Give it to Trinidad. Give him a shot. 2-point conversion for the 3-point lead. Chambliss throwing end zone. Did he get it to Wallace? He does. 2 points for Ole Miss, and they lead by 3. If y'all are listening, be sure to click the subscribe button. We have got a wild finish prepared for the Superdome. Trinidad Chambliss, unbelievable. Putting Oxford on his back. Yeah, I did. I'm still just like in shock at what Trinidad Chambliss just did that drive. Unbelievable. Guy's in flow state right now. He really is stepping up. And now Georgia and Gunnar Stockton trying to do what they do. Stockton, pressure up the middle, and he's gonna be. No, he stays up! Oh, Gunnar, how do you do it? He was able to get positive yards. It looked like Stockton was stuffed in the backfield for a sack. And he somehow escapes. Incredible balance here by Gunnar Stockton. Again, dominant win inside by Harris. He misses. Then I think Eccles missed. And then Stockton keeps the balance and is able to get a couple yards. We got 4 yards out. That's ridiculous. 2nd down and 6. What a play by Gunnar. To the 29. Handoff Frazier left side. And Nate is strapped up. He's no push from his lineman. He'll get a couple yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. 10:40 to go. A lot of football left to be played. Third and 3. Gunnar Stockton. What's the play call? They got Jones in the game. From the 32. Gunnar Stockton looking, gonna scramble, and he's taken down. Short of the 1st down by multiple yards. And what will Kirby Smart do? Does he trust his defense? An injury to an Ole Miss player right now. Harris is down. He's been banged up this drive, and he is down right now. 4th down allows Kirby Smart to think about this decision. It'll be from the 35. So here we go. Kirby's going to keep that offense on the field. But we'll see if they just go for the offsides here. Gunnar Stockton is an empty. They snap it. Stockton under pressure. He's sacked! And the ball came out! Sunterine Perkins! Unbelievable Ole Miss! Unbelievable! It's a fumble and it's Ole Miss football. Ole Miss has it at the 23. Chambliss dropping back, throws underneath. Daquan Wright stumbling, gets the first down. Chambliss end zone, touchdown Ole Miss! Harrison Wallace! Harrison Wallace, touchdown Ole Miss! Unbelievable! I wonder what Lane Kiffin's thinking right now. PAT is good, and Ole Miss 34-24. What a turn of events! Georgia's been outscored 15 points in a row. Trinidad Chambliss, unbelievable. So here we go. Gunnar Stockton has to make a moment for Georgia. He's going to launch it deep as far as his arm can take him, and it's going to be incomplete. A flag flies in, though, from the second level, which means Ole Miss is going to be 15 yards added. It's going to be 15 yards for this play. Here we go. 15 yards. Stockton underneath. Passes caught and a broken tackle. Nate Frazier gets across midfield. This game is, definitely far from over, right? Georgia's going to play with a ton of urgency here. There's 8:40 to go. They have a lot of time, right? Georgia's, they're fine. But they definitely have to have some urgency. They're already at the Ole Miss 49. Now they run the football. It's Nate Frazier, and he's going to get a first down. I feel like they haven't given Frazier as many opportunities, and now he's really starting to work this drive back-to-back 10-yard plays, and Georgia moving this football efficiently against Ole Miss. 1st and 10, they're already at the Ole Miss 38 quickly, and now Stockton tried to hard count him. Now they'll read the defense real quick. 8 minutes to go. Gunnar Stockton, what does he have left in him? He fakes the screen, looking downfield, throwing downfield, and it's incomplete. Oh, Gunnar missed that throw. He had a man over the middle. Gunnar Stockton this season in the 4th quarter versus ranked opponents, he's been elite. 29 for 32. That's ridiculous, by the way. 6 touchdowns, no picks. Gunnar Stockton has not not thrown a pick against ranked competition in the 4th quarter. That is ridiculous, but that's been him all year. He's been cool as ice in these moments. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Gunnar Stockton, 3-man rush from Ole Miss. He's going to go down the middle of the field. Wide open, man. First down, Georgia to the 20. So Ole Miss dropped a bunch of guys back into coverage, and it didn't even matter because they left the guy wide open in the middle of the field. 7.5 to go. Clock's going to keep running. Gunnar Stockton and this Georgia offense trying to figure it out. Chambliss on the sideline. He's been on a heater. He wants to get the football back with a 10-point lead. Georgia's already in the red zone, though. Stockton motions a man. And he throws outside. Incomplete. It was intended for Noah Thomas, the transfer from Texas A&M. Incomplete pass there. What a game, man. Ole Miss, it looked like they were dead to right after that miscue before half. Georgia well on their way to winning, and all of a sudden, Ole Miss is ahead by 10. Georgia was up 24-19 earlier in this game, earlier in the 3rd quarter. Oh, I don't know why I haven't changed it. It's the 4th quarter, by the way. What the heck? 2nd and 10, Branch in motion. He's a danger. 7:08. Stockton, pressure's coming. He's going to step up and throw. Deep ball, Branch! Touchdown, Georgia! Right back at him. Zachariah Branch, and there it is. Well, they're not out of it yet. They were never out of it. They go up tempo. They get down the field. They score. That's big time, though. They desperately needed that. Branch bleeding a little bit, but he made the play. Well, they're not out of it yet. They were never. And so the PAT will make this a 3-point game. Woodring got it to go. And Ole Miss will get the football back. 7:03 to go. This is the type of college football action we love, though. This is beautiful, right? This is what you want. You want these close competitive football games. You want these games that come down to the wire. That's what people love, right? This is what's beautiful about this sport. Ole Miss had their run. They had their momentum shift where everything started to go, their way. And now Georgia, punches them right back, right? Like, they're not out of it. Kirby Smart, that was a phenomenal drive. They went up-tempo. Great job by Mike Bobo there. And now it's like, okay, well, Your move, Trinidad and Ole Miss, right? Their offense has to keep going. That's incredible, though. Georgia strikes back. But yeah, Trinidad Chambliss is having, my gosh. This has been an amazing football game. Trinidad Chambliss. Both quarterbacks have done their thing tonight. Gunnar Stockton with 3 touchdowns, 1 passing, 2 rushing. That touchdown to Zachariah Branch was huge. Trinidad Chambliss is over 300 yards. And Gunnar Stockton on that sideline, again, he's been so nails all year in the big moment. That's been Gunnar Stockton. That is why he's been so good. I mean, dude, I'm getting nervous right now watching this game, and I'm not even like a fan of either team. Like, I'm like nervous just because like it's such a good game, and like, oh my gosh, like it's just one of those games. I love these games like this. These are the games that we love about college football. Trinidad Chambliss playing his butt off today. He's been phenomenal. Throw after throw, dime after dime. It's been a phenomenal performance from Trinidad Chambliss today. He's been a star for Ole Miss. They needed him most with everything they've gone through with Lane Kiffin and things like that. It hasn't been easy, but this team has rallied around and they're playing an amazing game for real. I mean, they're up. They were up 10, but again, that answer drive from Georgia, that is what makes Georgia different. That program, those guys are never going to give up. Kirby's never going to give up. Those guys are going to fight and claw back. And that drive was perfect. Chambliss will hand it off. Kewan Lacey getting to the outside, lowers the shoulder. And again, Lacey's got a bum left shoulder, but he does not care. He's going to just fight for this team. Second down coming up for Chambliss. In the fourth quarter against Georgia in Athens, he was big time rattled. 1 for 10 in that quarter with 1 passing yard in that game, and they lost. Today, 6 for 6, 87 yards with a touchdown. 2nd and 3, 6.5 minutes to play. Taking the time down with you is important. They go Lacey again. And Kewan Lacey. The officials did not call a face mask. Chambliss wanted it. It looked like he was brought down awkwardly. And we'll see if this was indeed a face mask. Oh my gosh. Wow. 3rd and 5. Empty for Trinidad Chambliss. He's going to drop back. Going to look over the middle. It's batted down. Incomplete. Wow, so Georgia gets the stop. I'm very surprised they didn't call that face mask, but there you go. They're gonna punt this one away. Ole Miss sends it deep, and now Branch will get it on a bounce, and he's so dangerous. Zachariah Branch, you cannot let him get in the open field. Branch gets to the outside to the 35, taken down, and Georgia will have the football right back. Again, I cannot believe they didn't call a face mask. Here we go. Georgia at the 36-yard line. Can the comeback be on? Gunnar Stockton, handoff Frazier. Left side, Nate Frazier, first down. I just cannot believe they got away with that. But at the same time, I get they were trying to chew clock, but why do you take it out of Chambliss' hands in those moments? I don't get it. Again, the face mask was bad. I can't believe they didn't call it, but it's like, why? Trinidad Chambliss has been the best player on the field in this game. Why did you take it out of his hands, 2 of those plays? I don't get it. 1st and 10 from the 47. 47 and a half here. Georgia trying to make some plays in the run game. We'll see what they do. It's Stockton. Another handoff. Frazier trying to find a crease. He's trying to bounce around. He only gets about a yard or 2. And there we go. 2nd down coming up. Clock ticks under 5 minutes. Georgia trailing by 3. They got a touchdown. Then they got to stop. Frazier's banged up. And that'll stop the clock. Nate Frazier's down right now. And Frazier's probably going to be out for the... I don't know what Frazier's availability is going to be looking like. He's walking off the field here pretty gingerly. Second down and 8, 4:39 to go. McCray is in here. Georgia's running back depth going to be tested. 2nd down and 8, 4:34 to go. Clock is going under 4.5 from the 49. And a handoff left side. McCray trying to bounce it to the outside. And they stuff him. McCray never stood a chance. 3rd down and long coming up for Georgia. This is where they have to make a big play. Bobo's got to call an elite play as well here. We'll see. Third and 9 coming up. Third and 9 for the Dogs from the 48. Gunnar Stockton has a chance to make a play. The check down out of the backfield. Cash Jones taken down at the line of scrimmage. 4th down coming up for Georgia. Gunnar checked it down in that moment. And there's only 3:20 to go. Kirby, will he roll the dice? They have 3 timeouts. I'm going to assume that they do. And Golding's going to call a timeout. Oh my gosh. Whoa, my goodness, dude. This game's insane. Oh, do you have Branch here? Let's see. Stockton. Oh, no. Gunnar has Zachariah Branch wide open for a first down, and he just didn't throw it to him. Oh, my gosh. That's a killer. That's such a killer. I can't believe that. Oh, man. What is Georgia going to do out of this timeout? It's 4th and 9. Gunners and the offense are out there. 4th down and 9. Here we go. Kirby's going to trust his offense to make a play and win this football game. 4th and 9 from midfield. You get it, you move the drive along. If you don't, Ole Miss gets the football in Georgia territory. 4th and 9. What does Georgia have in store? 3-man rush. They drop everybody back. Stockton down the field. It's caught! Branch got it for the first down. Stockton didn't miss him that time. Unbelievable. I don't get it. Ole Miss, Golding, why would you do that? Why would you drop people into coverage if you're just going to leave someone wide open? Unbelievable. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. I hate when coaches do that. I hate when coaches drop into coverage. It takes the pressure off the quarterback. Stockton rolling out and a hold. There it is. First and 20 after the hold. Stockton delivering down the middle, incomplete, batted at the line. So Georgia got the 4th down and 9, but they got called for a hold on the ensuing first down. It is 2nd down and 20, 2:32 to go. Ole Miss is giving up a 4th and 9. If they give up a 2nd and 20, that'd be pretty embarrassing. Stockton's going to throw the screen. It worked all year. It's Zachariah Branch. He's going to be tripped up at the 35. But for Georgia, that's huge. It gets you into field goal range. Clock is ticking. 2 minutes to go. It might be the 2-minute warning after the ball snapped. So they'll head to the 2-minute warning. Georgia 3rd and 9. They trail by 3. After the 2-minute warning, it's going to be a 3rd down and 9 for Georgia. Well, you know what? Ole Miss gave up the 4th and 9. That's Gunnar Stockton, just another big-time throw. Oh my goodness. 3rd and 9 coming up for Georgia. Kirby Smart, he rolled the dice on 4th and 9 from midfield. He put the game on the line. He put it in his quarterback's hands, and he made the throw. And now, here we go. 2 minutes left in the game. 3rd and 9. Georgia with all their timeouts. Ole Miss with 2 of them. From the 35, they're in Woodring's field goal range as long as they don't have a negative play. They spread out the defense. Stockton, pressure comes. He's going to step up and throw deep, and it's incomplete. No way! No way! No way they throw the flag on that. That's a big call, but they give it to him. Stockton throws it up, and he gets rewarded. Georgia now. That's a big pass interference call, and now they go Bowens run, hurdle. Bowens slammed into the ground. Second down and 7. I cannot believe they called that PI. They got Branch out wide. They're going to fake it to him. Stockton's going to the end zone. Incomplete, another flag. First and goal from the 9. Branch is in motion. Stockton going to run it up the middle. Georgia's had 3 flags on this drive alone to help them out. Second down and goal from the 2. Ole Miss has 1 timeout remaining. They're going to run the football up the middle. Ole Miss stuffs it. 3rd and goal. Third and goal, 1:04 to go. Can Georgia Can Georgia get the touchdown? They're at the 6-yard line against Ole Miss. Jones at running back, Delp in motion. Stockton, no pressure, goes end zone. Incomplete! Is there going to be a flag to bail him out this time? Woodring with the kick. And he drills it. Great defense. Ole Miss bend didn't break at the end. Ole Miss is going to get the football 34-34. Chambliss is going to have a chance to win this game for his program. Unbelievable, boys. First and 10. 34-34. First and 10, Ole Miss. They have no timeouts to work with. Their kicker has a boom. We'll see what they do from the 25. Man in motion, and they're going to run the football to Lacey up the middle. They got to get up to the ball quickly here. Here's Chambliss dropping back, rolling out right, going deep down the field. Oh no! Incomplete! What a knockout, Caden Lee! He just got destroyed in the back. That's a great hit by Brandt to dislodge this football. Lee is down. That was a big hit right there. They needed that one big time. Third and 5 for Chambliss and Ole Miss. 32 seconds to play. Georgia has a chance here if you don't convert this first down. 3rd and 5. Trinidad Chambliss going to launch it downfield. It's got a man! Deshaun Stribling! Trinidad Chambliss makes the throw! And Ole Miss is going to have a chance. 26 seconds left. A perfect ball from Trinidad Chambliss. Clock is going to start soon. Unbelievable. Trinidad Chambliss, you're him, buddy. 20 seconds to go. Ole Miss cannot mess up the clock this time. I don't know why they're throwing the football. Why would you throw the football? Oh my, Dalen Everett almost had a pick. You have 16 seconds left. Get the ball on the hash. He nearly picked this off. He almost did. "16 seconds left. And again, I just don't... Why are you throwing the football? Run it inside. I don't get it. I truly don't. Oh, man. Their kicker's been automatic all day. 16 seconds left for Chambliss and Ole Miss. They're going to drop back. He's going to throw it left side out of bounds. So they're just trying to take the clock down as much as possible, I guess. So they're just, I think they're just going to try to hit a quick something. Chambliss going down the sideline, incomplete. Ball goes out with 9 seconds left, and now Ole Miss will have to kick a field goal to give them the lead. Here we go. Trinidad Chambliss played his heart out tonight. Will it get rewarded in a win? A team without Lane Kiffin. They lost their head coach to LSU in the middle of a playoff run. This kick would mean everything to this program. To send them to the semifinals to play Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes. Georgia's going to call their first timeout. They are going to ice the kid. Oh, man. Like, I'm not an Ole Miss fan, and I'm nervous right now. What a night it's been. Their kicker has a chance to give them the lead with probably about 5 or 6 seconds left. Trinidad Chambliss has played incredible. It's a 47-yard field goal to potentially send Ole Miss to the semis from 47 yards. He got it! Drilled it! Unbelievable! Pete Golding! 6 seconds left! He drills it. Unbelievable. Right down the middle. The hero of Oxford. And now 6 seconds left. Ole Miss so close. Kirby Smart. Oh, he did not like that one. That looked like a big old gut punch for Kirby. 6 seconds to play. He's got to kick this probably about as deep as possible here, and we'll see what happens. They're going to boot it into the end zone, and Georgia, are they even going to try to return it? They are going to try to return it. And, oh gosh, that did not work out very well for Georgia. Is the game over? It is! It's over! Ole Miss wins! Ole Miss moves on without Kiffin! Unbelievable. Georgia lateraled it backwards. It's one of the wildest endings to a football game I've ever seen. I genuinely don't know how that game, what just happened, but it is what it is. They finally ended the game. Ole Miss wins. Congrats! Oh man, that's awesome. They beat them. They beat Georgia. Lane Kiffin. Man, that's why I'm happy for them, right? This is a program that was left for dead by their own head coach, and they still won. Kiffin, Kiffin, Pete Golding, bro, you deserve every second of this, man. This is a legendary moment for Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss, dude, this guy's awesome. What a game he played. Um, truly, truly a remarkable football game for Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss. He was awesome. 30, 46, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Unbelievable game from him. And Ole Miss did it. They did it. They beat Georgia when it mattered most. Trinidad threw some dots. Deshaun Stribling made the big play. And kicker, man, ice. 4 for 4. All those field goals were 45 plus, too. What a win for this program. So the final four will be, wow, that's crazy. No, wow. When's the last, no final four? There's going to be no Texas, no Alabama, no Georgia, no Ohio State, no Michigan. This is insane. I think if you had told any college football fan before the season started the Final Four would be Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Miami, I think everybody would have thought you were crazy. But unbelievable. It's going to be crazy. Either Trinidad Chambliss or Carson Beck is going to the national championship. Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. It's going to be an exciting one. Wow, what a unbelievable. What a game. What a game. Ole Miss did it though. Props to them. Georgia eliminated in the Sugar Bowl for the second year in a row. That'll do it.